I am here vibing one of the most recognizable faces in Jamaica dub poet space. A philosopher, educator, a supremely talented writer. His parents named him John Sinclair, but we know him as
So you know me as?
YASUS AFARI.
Okay, then say
Tony
it.
Tam. Ah, you don't know about that?
No, hear this now.
Yeah.
I will tell you say my mother name me. My parents name me John.
John
Maybe not my
Sinclair.
parents, more my mother.
Right.
Because my father objected to it.
Really?
No matter of fact, him say I feel pick name him John.
Oh.
And then I him name himself Sinclair. Don't forget say them names are inherited from Scotland, you know.
Right.
To transatlantic genocide.
It's like Williams, but we just keep it moving.
And that is why it's something that we necessarily don't want to celebrate.
Right, we're not celebrating, but I say your name, YASUS, man.
No.
What do you mean, no?
You as a teacher supposed to know this. We are teaching, you know.
Right.
I'm into neuro-linguistic healing. And we don't want to perpetuate the construct of neuro-linguistic genocide.
Right.
Because remember, you know, the science is in the spelling, you know. Because names and words cast a spell.
I agree with you, sir.
All
I have
right,
said
so
that many times.
We know now cast no evil spell. We come to exorcise the demonic neuro-linguistic spell cast on the people. And start with self. And so that is why we name YASUS AFARI. But it still is John Sinclair name I YASUS AFARI.
Okay, but me ask, so then as a big man in YASUS and you have so much issues with it and you're going through a neuro-linguistic change, then why you not change the name?
No, but it is a thing which is gradual. Because look now, we're living in a schizophrenic society.
Yeah.
And we cannot totally divorce ourselves from the schizophrenia, not overnight. So it's a work in progress, and that exercise is teaching them. Aren't we and teach them?
Yes, sir. All is well, great man.
Give thanks, man.
So YASUS AFARI.
Why you put on the mister? We don't miss nothing. YASUS AFARI good enough.
YASUS AFARI. It's great to see the man. Again.
Yes.
Again. And we appreciate this, you know. We appreciate this.
We appreciate love it, and make sure you appreciate love that one now. Because we don't want to tell the people them what happened the other time.
They know, you know.
They know?
Yeah, because people been ask me, teach. But YASUS there. I mean, I say,
tell them, sir?
we do it already, but, you know, hard, you mess up. That's how I think. But we appreciate this, brother.
And we appreciate love it.
Appreciate love it. Yeah, sir. It's a gradual thing. It takes time for them to come out of the vernacular. Yeah, but talk to us, though. Early life, place of birth.
In this dispensation of time, we were born in a little sub-rural community called Hamilton Town, affectionately called Hambleton Town.
Hambleton Town.
But it's a part of Rose Hall in St. Elizabeth. Deep rural we are talking about.
Deep rural.
To the extent that my parents, them don't even know which day me born up to now.
Oh, yeah?
They never have watch, clock, radio, television, sundial. It was late at night during a thunderstorm. No electrical appliances, so they lost count of the hour. So when it was time for me to be registered, there was a debate in the family, and my grandfather said, all right, don't the argument now. Give him the new day. So it was said to be a Monday, September 4th.
But for all intents and purposes, you could have born Sunday night.
Well, actually, a few years ago, I come to the conclusion that I was born on 11:35 on the Sunday.
Just before you day there.
On the Sunday night. So I am the ancient future, so it's not by accident.
So the ancient future. That's one of the album name, eh?
Yeah.
How many siblings? Brothers and sisters? I remember when I asked that the last time.
Yeah, sibling up the people.
Yes.
Anyway, so I am the last of four. So me and
watch belly vibes.
Interestingly, my mother had to remove her womb after my birth.
Yeah?
So we cut it off right there. So.
Your brothers, it's all sisters and you, or you have?
Two, well, in terms of my mother, 2 girls, 2 boys. My father now had 3. Us 2 with my mother, plus one before.
All your siblings are still with us in the flesh?
Well, my brother by my father's side jump out in flesh. And my sister, she was the lady from Heart Academy who met in the fatal motor vehicle accident on Spurtree in 1994.
Oh, I think I want recently, I remember I teach. Okay, 1994.
Yeah, she's Jasmine Merle Winter. She used to be at the Runaway Bay
Heart Academy. My
Yeah.
condolences.
Right, so just those 2 trad flesh.
And the old man and old lady trad on as well.
Well, listen this now. You know, my old man was born in 1897.
18 when? 18 when?
1897.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. And my mother was born in 1923. Some old man trod in the 70s while I was still in my teens. And my mother shed her flesh 2004. But notice that I not say them dead, you know.
Yeah, I know you give me a philosophical twist on the thing, you know.
Because then you don't know about energy, man. Energy cannot be created and cannot be destroyed. Can only be transformed. And we are capsules of energy, aren't we?
True.
Energy is the ability to do work. And so, remember, so we are talking about casting evil spell and neuro-linguistics, you know, so we have to say the right thing.
Yeah. You growing up, humble beginnings, I'm assuming?
We don't tell you, said,
no electronic device.
One room mud hut. No, them say, me not say mud hut. One room mud house. Me born in a Darban Wackle.
Wackle and Darb. What the window name? Jealousy window.
Thatch roof, kick and buck, latrine, tank, kitchen, buttery, kitchen beach, tie out goat, go look water, go woodland, go look wood.
Quintessential, rural, deep rural upbringing.
Walk 6 miles to go catch bus to go to school. And so, yeah, but we were not poor. It's recently people tell we were supposed to have been poor, but we were never poor.
People tell us we were supposed to have been poor.
Yeah, because you don't have certain material trappings.
Yes.
But we were not poor in spirit. And so that eclipsed and circumvented the lacking in material things. Because when I go to school, enough people think I come from rich people family. Because we were well kept.
You get it well off.
Look at my mother teaches if I have 1 cup of water, you're not supposed to bring down nastiness by yourself.
Beard with that.
You can't beard with 1 cup of water. Wipe down the essential places, wring out the thing again and dry down the essential places. So we never see poverty as an excuse for crime and violence and irresponsibility. We see it as a challenge. Because, you know what I mean, some people rich, but them countenance suffer from malnutrition. When them smile, them coming like a dead dog with skin teeth.
Yeah.
And you have some little granny with 1 teeth in her mouth. And when she smiles, it's like
beautiful.
A steel ball. You have a little youth, a bang belly in Africa and some of the so-called third world countries. And when them smile, they light up the place. And so some people suffer from fiscal obesity. You know what I mean? But they are impoverished. And so some people, the countenance are gone with the wealth of joy and smile and health. So, you know, we conscious of them things.
Yes, you mentioned walking 6 miles to take the bus to school. Schooling, where you attended school though?
So first of all, some people always leave out them school, you know, but the basic is important. So we went to Rosal Infant, then Rosal All Age. We spent 1 year at then Junction Junior Secondary, now BB Comprehensive High. And then we were the last set of students who actually took the common entrance from the secondary school.
Okay.
So we went to States in the 70s, and then from States we worked with a telephone company for a while, from which I got a scholarship to attend the College of Arts, Science and Technology, now known as University of Technology.
You were doing well academically in high school, man, but you were also involved in the performing arts as well from early.
Yes, from early we were involved in drama. I remember being in a school play called School Days, actually.
School Days.
And we won medal at the World Theatre at the JCDC. I got a silver. I think the overall play got silver, so I was awarded a silver certificate. And then we performed with the school band, and I started writing poetry from that time.
Scholarship was from Telephone Company of Jamaica to
College of Arts, Science and Technology, and that was from JTC Cooperative Credit Union.
Oh.
The first scholarship them offered, and I was the first recipient. So,
why you just decided to go back to school while doing the telephone thing, or the opportunity just come and you seize it? Not
necessarily, you know, me get a vibe, a vision, and like say, me I go find a pathway to lead me through life. I can't, but because some stuff did go on at telephone company, and me defended a position with the management.
Yes.
So the man boost me up, so I made them want to represent the trade union.
Like a you? Oh, okay.
So I was wondering and thinking, so maybe me I go get involved in the student union and that could help me union work. When we come back to telephone company, I could as it turned out, seemed not to have been the case. But I would now agree from even back then that it was really poetry and the music, the social advocacy as well as Rastafari theology and philosophy and liberty.
Yes, whilst at CAS, you became vice president of the student council.
Yeah.
Was that actually denied or you actually served?
Well, what happened is that, long story, but we chop it up short. This administration never recognized my vice presidency. But the student goodie did. And so my good brethren nowadays, because enough people can't believe that Dr. Alfred Sangster gave me a letter of commendation some time ago, because we were at loggerheads, He was a gatekeeper, and I was a gatekeeper for the students as well. So we had this discussion man to man, So so a man at the time, Mavis Gilmore, they consulted for 1 day to strategize how to get rid of me.
Oh yeah?
Obviously it failed.
You're a revolutionist then, man.
Yeah, I guess you could say that, but maybe not.
You're going to work with activists then?
No, certainly not the activists. We are advocates.
Advocate.
So in other words, no, we were not like into self-destruction or want to pull down things, We just want to defend humanity and we integrity as a people. For example, this was when the administration when the Queen visited our campus. And, as a student leader, we had our voice and we did express. Because for one, if a girl was raped on campus.
Okay.
And when we defended, the security at the campus, they say, oh, we don't have enough money. And all of a sudden, the Queen go make the mistake, we come.
And then fix
up.
up.
Then we didn't get the money from him, then rob bricks or what. But everywhere fix up. So we are say, joke thing, we don't have the interest of the people at heart. And we really were very strong and we led a demonstration. And one other thing now, we were in the Farquharson Hall and Dr. Alfred Sangster was saying they'll allow their students to be on the dormitory. I said, they put up my hand and everybody said, yes, sir, this no. I said, no, that's not acceptable. This is where we live. They didn't consult us before we invite people in our homes. How will we defend the integrity of the dorm? The place erupted and him had to revoke that decision. So that kind of set me up for, whatever. But at the same time, make sure the level of my sense of responsibility, even with so-called revolutionary flavor. The first freshman, the vice president is responsible for social and cultural activities on campus. So our freshman fete was my event. Some of us on scholarship, some have some money. And the man never come at the bar now and I just bust my bill full and buy them. 2, 3, after 3, that's it. So I said, brother, not even woman me not powder,
You're right.
So me not powder man, brother. And so he said, me take my money and buy that. And them screw and run up them mouth. But we made 30,000 profit at that time. That would have been maybe 3 million profit now. You know what I mean? And people come for no respect. And I said, John, no. Because maybe I was a less likely person. Would have run something like that and make it work. So in a sense now, this was a teaching experience. So we are teaching from them time by action. Action speak louder than word. And unity must become in action. And so we demonstrate. Say, no man, the thing can go proper. A student union, man, we are the student, man. So rip and run off, go way. So me maintain a kind of balance there from that time. Especially citing Rastafari, we know the diplomacy of his and her imperial majesties. And so we use those as a template, other liberators as well, like Marcus Garvey and so on. So we look for the higher values and the higher virtues from the people around us and the people in our history, and we infuse that with our own that we would have gathered from Rosal, St. Elizabeth when we grew up. Speak the truth and speak it ever.
True.
Cast it what it will. He who hide the wrong he does the wrong thing still. So our parents kind of instill that them kind of values there.
Yeah, were you growing here at that time? Well,
no,
I just the meditation and vibration.
Here, but hear the thing now. No one ever hear the Bible like me,
Oh yeah? From them time?
Oh yeah, I do, man. And then God, a man there spin up your head and put a sharp knife on your neck and all them things. I say, wait. And some people like them time.
Yeah.
But I was a state now, this time I stop eating meat and go and let me one pack down my hair and roll it back, and my mother said she'll stop sending me go to school. Me love school still, so I kind of have to, you know,
Set back.
shuffle. So even when the thing manifests at certain time, it was heartbreaking.
Yes.
And she know my poem named Poetry Can Yam,
Poetry Can Yam.
which, you know, my girlfriend Twiggy left me. And my mother, them, you know, people I say whatever people.
When I say girlfriend Twiggy, you mean?
My girlfriend at the time, my school days girlfriend.
Oh, Twiggy, okay.
The girl, let me take 4 years before me kiss her up on her handbag and fret the whole night thinks that she pregnant. You remember?
4 years.
4 years.
Oh, so when I said Twiggy, I think it was entertainer Twiggy.
No.
Okay.
My Twiggy original Twiggy. Man.
Okay, original.
I just come Twiggy this. My sister is still a very good singer.
Yes.
She does some work on some of my production.
Okay, nice.
So, you know,
nice.
so what happened is that me just show you the level.
Yes,
and
man.
then I like say me had that ancient youth, you know. I mean, me no band yesterday, obviously, but I mean, you know, we have certain little values, and so me never even know so if I kiss my girlfriend. And when the man say, so wait, you kiss a girl? I'm like,
If you do that.
so no, me never know. I we not talk about wet kiss, and we don't go like.
We don't get like.
So me actually, anybody who knows sensible can know. We come from Kappa bus and we walk from Monroe College gate, come down to housing scheme across from Manning's home, and that Twiggy live. So me actually walk, you know them time you can't hang out a girl gate.
Right.
You have to move and keep on moving. So when me come out gate now and now or never, boy, come let me try to kiss her, but I can't kiss her. But when time I go now and I know so I can't start, I just hold her hand and go so. And she just run off in her yard so. And then no, me never walk home, no, me just float home.
Floated.
And then no, by me afraid whole night, because the amount of butterfly in my stomach, me I say, wait, I thought I go and maybe I thought I make fear stomach grow. So, so me afraid whole night, so she pregnant, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, you know, I mean, and we never fool you there now. We
Right.
kind of a little bit unexposed, a little bit
A little bit naive to certain
a little bit
things.
naive, and a little bit not knowing.
Yes.
So, and then, you know, so that was the kind of groundation that we had.
So I'll go on, man. At CAS now, you started to delve more into poetry.
Well, yeah, I started, you have a teacher named Mrs. Alka McDonald. I love that woman. She's like my poetic mother. And we actually have very good friends. She's living in Mandeville here now too. We were doing a O-level project and she asked us to write a poem. And so, me used to love Peony Wale and Blinky and them things because that's how we buckle to watch at night.
Yes.
And we had a fascination with the sun because, you know, the night's very dark, it's rural here, no electricity. So we kind of had a fixation with that. And so when we were asked to write a poem, I reflected on, you know, childhood days growing up. And so my first poem was A Traveling Son.
Traveling Son.
And she read it to the class and said, this is a very good poem. You must continue writing. And so we did continue writing. And so a telephone company, I wrote for the Jamaica Lines magazine as it was at the time. Yeah. And we submitted some works to the Daily News, it was at the time. And so at CAS now we continue writing and publish in the campus news.
Okay.
And then I performed on a fundraising event that I helped to organize as a vice president for the commerce department. And the rest was history, as they would say. It was a good experience, very successful event. I resonated a lot with I was a campus personality of sorts. And so the performance was resonated and I felt good on stage and after and prepared.
So the conviction was strengthened some more then?
Strengthened in and then the writing and, you know, other encounters and music infused. Because we used to listen a lot of roots reggae music and we draw inspiration from those, as well as the independence movement and the liberators. And
in those times, whilst you were attending CAS around the Caribbean, there was a lot of social upheaval. I think that was the time that Maurice Bishop was killed.
So we wrote a poem about Maurice Bishop that was published in the campus news as well. And this is when man I say, yo, him slicky, can we write a poem for the campus news? I chose some so-called shades after Dr. Alfred Zangster. Everybody know, but nobody's thing don't know and can't say.
Right.
So that the kind of, you know what I mean, give me some props.
So the pray. After leaving CAS, and what did you study at CAS?
industrial instrumentation.
Industrial instrumentation.
Yeah. And we do a skill set transfer because essentially the human being is an instrument. And we are part of an integrated whole. And so the first poem which chronicled that skill set transfer was I Pen.
That's you and Garnet Silk?
We recorded that, but
it was a poem first. I Pen.
But listen, every song is a poem set to music.
Well, which is true.
All right.
That is so true.
So yeah. So what happened? And there's a story to that, but the short of it is that yes. But I wrote that poem out of the transition.
Whilst you were at cast?
Yeah, I think right at the back end or short left. I might have been with JPS. I did a little stint.
Right. We'll get to,
So we wrote the poem I Pen, which started a skill set transfer. So even the work I do now as a social engineer is really using engineering
skills
principles drawn from physics and chemistry, sociology, history, theology to actually recalibrate, reset, realign the mindset of our people using different reference points of tradition and history and nature and values and so on.
Nice one. After cast, you got to work at JPS. Olaba?
Olaba. Oh, you know this. Yeah.
That never lasts long.
No, God, listen now. The first day, the man them insult me, my integrity. The first day, I went and did the interview, so they gave me the work. I started working the same day.
Same day when you do the interview?
Yeah.
Mad.
I mean, insane. And so the man them invite me for lunch.
Yeah.
This was a good gesture. But a pay poke the man them had around me, brother. Then I just back my chair off of the table because still, you go want to work, the struggle and thing. But no, so them brother, so I back my chair and them see me ring still, even though I don't say much, action speak louder than words. That time you see cheese. I just order a thing and piece of cheese. And just I go and pre them. So till when we get to find out now, most of them, if not all, I think at least 3 come there with locks and them and them shave them up. So they want to try pass on that tradition upon me. You know me I say, and from the behavior they start.
Pre them.
Yeah, until me just say, I left them people, So what I did now again, another skill set transfer, I wrote the first verse of I Pen in a leather. I remember so with the sheet metal engineering and with the geometrical and architecture and so we use a skill set transfer there and then now, I find myself with $300, no food in the house. The woman said, no, with the monks me at the time, no food in the house, you can't cook. But you know how some women say, half a bag of this there, so quarter bag of this there, so but no food in there. So me just put them together and cook something.
Yeah. And
we have enough food for the weekend. And I say, if me use this to supermarket, then we may go to Monday. I not go sell no herb car. You know, you got nothing wrong maybe if you want to sell herb at the time, but me not depend on that thing there. So me use it now to go buy some craft material and make some products. Remember a lady in the name Mrs. Forbes at Manchester High School. She said she wanted to buy, come tell her, so me go do some craft. So she wanted to buy the first handbag. So I carry the handbag go. So I say, I don't have no money, I get no salary. And she said, me have to pick up.
3 bills.
She said, me have to pick up my jar off of the ground. So she said, hold on there, no. And she called the Spanish teacher and borrow some money. And me just skip home. And right there, so at that $300 there. I not prostitute myself, I never take a loan. We use a $300 there and make the difference. So that's why I say poverty. I not support poverty still, because we kill poverty, ignorance and injustice with revolutionary vibration through word, sound and power. But at the same time now, it's no excuse.
Never is,
Riches is no excuse either, You know what I say?
Yes, sir.
Because integrity in a seller shop and supermarket, and coronation market, You know what I say? So them things there, to me, are immortal qualities which ensure your immortality if you are so deserving. So we practice that level there in a simple little way and to we make fashion and humble ourselves and work hard and keep the integrity. And even right now, in my business as a poet and promoting poetry, we find also the integrity there, work with diplomats where we deal with, governments where we deal with, corporate entities where we deal with, because they know at least we keep trying.
Yes.
To keep integrity of whatever doing, the process of what we're doing. And so we want to use this opportunity to teach them these values as well.
Importantly, why. So you used $300 and started something that became a big business.
In a sense, you could also say yes, though we're still growing, but it really, you know, so we maybe have more $300 for me now too.
Yeah. You
So in
started,
a sense, you know what I mean, my brother, it can happen.
you started making high-end bags and belts and...
And then no, me kind of a little youth and green used to call me the Kakati King. So we have a little thing where nobody knows see my craft product. You know.
Oh, yeah?
They ain't the man that lock and key.
Yeah. It's
You
only who
understand?
buy it, I see it.
Yeah. Because we don't like that something the way I go on street, hustle people.
A pedal thing.
No, we kind of, nothing wrong with it if
Right,
you have
right.
thing, but you know, you
And
carve
I hear
out your
thing
own,
that.
and I think that. So we do that, and so, you see, we still understand the relationship between demand and supply. You know?
Right.
And we know say everything common and too attainable.
Price I got decrease.
Diminish certain things. So and then them time them used to handsome. Well, I'm still handsome, am I not? Yeah. But you know, young and fresher,
Yeah.
greener. And so like the US Embassy, when we got into someone,
Them love you there.
I don't mind. and best dress and telephone company.
Oh, you went back to TOJ.
Yeah, halfway tree road, the one there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and different places, insurance company them, and so people say, oh, gas him going. You know where we go. And then now still we feel articulate as well too, and try to put on a good suit of clothes and look like say, you know what I mean, you're smart picnic too. And so we kind of use that and really. So we started
Market the
working
thing
on,
properly.
yeah, we started working on an album now with some support from a Virgin named Pekka Brown and
Dancehall baptism.
how you know so. And then now, Ducky Simpson sent him wife to track me down one day. Cause one lawyer
Ducky
used to do
Simpson,
some
Black Uhuru?
Yeah, one lawyer used to do some work Mount Sinai. And they have this hotel at the time, I forget what name I know, but it's at the foot of King Street.
Oh,
It was there in the 90s. It was.
okay.
I forget the hotel name. Anyway, so she said, "You know the Virgin from Black Uhuru?" I said, "Who that?" Ducky Simpson. Say, "Yeah." I don't know him, but we see them on the bank.
You know of him?
Splash, I know of him. He said, "The man I want me." He said, "So wait, no. I do the name YASUS AFARI."
So them time they did still do the poetry thing and the thing I go out on the
we
street.
not stop.
Oh, you never stop.
Like,
So it was running
we used to
parallel
do-
with the
Yeah.
leather business.
And in parallel is important because sometimes the thing that happen right away, you know, but you have to do it in parallel.
Poetry in motion, we should say that.
poetry,
Leather business
live
in motion.
Yeah, and so now the short of it is that Ducky said he want to give me a strength. He want me record with the group and tour with the group.
Black Uhuru.
I said to my producer,
Oh yeah?
I couldn't rap them man there try rap with me. Nothing can go so. But we not nothing to lose, so you have a visa now, you have a passport, yes. So we carry it into the office and the next thing you know,
Plain.
me appear on some recordings with Black Uhuru, tour Hawaii.
But now why you just gloss over them some of the recordings with Black Uhuru.
We did a cover of Peter Gabriel, Mercy Street.
Mercy Street.
That Black Uhuru was comprised of Don Carlos, Garth Dennis and Ducky.
And
Simpson.
Ducky.
That was after the Juna reading.
Right.
So we recorded that with them. We did a remake of Guess Who's Coming to Dinner.
Not the dreadlocks.
Yeah, that was Dreadlocks Coming to Dinner.
Yeah, man.
And we did Brand New World, which I wrote and
Alright, so Brand New World is the song that was featured on the Grammy nominated album.
yes, Black Uhuru.
What was the name of that album?
Black Uhuru Strong. Strongg.
Okay.
Black Uhuru Strong, 1995. And so I was featured on the cover of the Billboard magazine and the most things. So
Thing happened, man.
yeah, so what happened is that we toured Hawaii the very first time. I remember enough man didn't really know, so I was there with the setting up of Madhouse label, you know, with Dave and Jonah Kelly and Terror Fabulous.
Because I never know that.
Right, and
So
Terror
me, I want to enough, man.
and a whole heap of people, man, and Terror Fabulous, and Daddy Screw, Andrew
Wayne
Priest, Maxi Priest, Erskine, and I think
Erskine.
Janet. That is how I recorded work for Dave Kelly on Madhouse label, which now released up to this day.
But wasn't work released by Madhouse with Barrington, everybody
Every
must
must
work.
So
It's
you can't do the
all
maths
is
for
that the
yourself.
same song?
Not the same song, but there was a
It was
conspiracy.
reworked.
There was a conspiracy.
But
Because,
you wrote it.
listen, you love the mix up, you know, but hear this now. Because of this relationship with when we just talked about a while ago now, so them say Dave, maybe both of them, but more Dave was have the rapport with in this regard. So he must say, yo, could have been a wicked, when I like marketing as a DJ, you know, could have wicked than Shabba, you know. That time Shabba had a song with Crystal called Twice My Age.
Twice my, right.
So that time, you know, me I walk and things, so he might drop me up a Barbican Road. And so right as we reach a Regal cinema, just above Crossroad,
Yeah, Regal, right, yeah man.
I think Azan said, you know. So
Yes.
him say,
Yes.
you know, say, could I way, blah, blah, blah. Then him look at me and say, we would have to cut to locks though. Some say, Dave, stop the car here, so. Then pull up right at Regal. I say, you take Rasta for punk, but sit down by your face. That time I know that little street there, I mean, I'm not rude boy or anything, you know, but I not take.
Militant man.
Yeah.
Firm
So,
in Gideon.
Yeah, so when you pass the red line, this or now, we are nip you in the bud. Because you're not bright, you're dunce. No disrespect, you know.
Right.
And Dave, you know that too. But we are call it as it is. If I lie, me I tell you, afraid to say so. So we are say, what you do? You take Rasta for punk, but sit down on your face. And me slam him car and go to the bus stop. So when I hear nothing more about that and the song, until a man call me and say, you know where I go on. Anyhow, so
Anyhow, yeah.
that's the thing, but so it's a struggle now. We don't carry no resent in our bitterness because we are youth, we have a joy, and we know say at certain time even intellectual property rights was not so much.
Can I just ask if you have any credit on that track? Writer's credit?
No man,
No.
because the man him not just listen that their tune. As when me hear it is alleged that I wasn't there. And the man him not confirm it with me. So we still have
Right, you have to say.
that disclaimer. Because the man them they have to talk for themselves when they want to cast no aspersion. But more the man them know say no disrespect. You know what I mean? No disrespect. This is all my part. Every man we have to start the own narrative.
I feel your journey,
And we have a
brother.
sense of
Yeah,
history
man.
and things.
Yes, sir.
It is documented that we recorded work. Some people love it idle. Them that want work, stay on the whole time and a flirt. Want to collect and still not want work. So our kind of man that you know say them a jerk. Them the kind of man that you know them that work. Thief in your pants, brief and shirt. Even the madman get up and work. Cause if you no work, you must turn a jerk. You understand? Work, you want prosperity. Work, you want go alone though. Work, you want kill poverty. Work, you want go a booyah. Work. You want house and car, bike and van, precious Susan and the one named Pam, chain round neck, ring pan hand, jump and check out. So it's a kind of vibe. And so the man them alleged that the man them down there play the thing, Barrington in the space, and them said the next thing you know, Ray.
City Pre.
Yeah. So it's one of them things. We never make it be, you know, bone of contention with neither. Dave,
Barrington.
Barrington, and even up to now, that's not the point of what we're saying.
Right, definitely. Because and Barrington are bridging from them time till now, man.
And he's a man who always deal with that and I good.
On a level.
And so that happened to me a couple of times still, you know.
Yeah?
Yeah. So when me and them man they are reason now, Maxi Priest say, yo, me come over now, me come in for me check him. So where you go here now? Me say, how are you? So me say to Andrew Priest, say, Priest, how we never live to go all of them? Look here, before the year end, that's what near the end of the year, I think. By the next April, May.
Today, how are you?
How I do my first show, you know?
Oh, yeah?
You saw things you go? One place in Honolulu.
Mystical vibration, man.
So
that you went on the road with Black Uhuru and you would have toured extensively with Black Uhuru.
We did 30 odd states in America, including, I don't really consider Hawaii as part of America. 'Cause we align with the Kingdom of Hawaii, but you know, whatever.
Right.
So we did Hawaii and in mainland America.
Right.
That then. We also did about 12 countries in Europe, including Eastern Europe and so on. And then we did South America, Brazil, and then we did the Caribbean. And we did some other spots.
Yes.
So we really learn a lot from recording with them,
I can imagine.
touring with them, vibing with them. So they were one of my teachers, I would think, as well as Pablo Moses.
The great Pablo Moses.
Great Pablo Moses. I talk about Pablo Moses is a Vineyard Town man.
Right.
I spent a lot of time in Vineyard Town as well,
Okay.
in the early days. So the man they take in them apartment at Georgia and clothes and teach you enough things. So I give thanks to Pablo Moses.
When you went to Ethiopia, that was it Black Uhuru or that was?
No, that was independent of Black Uhuru. It was in 1996 as part of the bicentenary celebration of the Battle of Adwa.
Okay.
And so it was at the invitation of the government. So Kabu Mahad Keru for Fire FM, Munta Baruka, Youth and Green, Tone Rebel, and myself.
Nice, man. Nice. At this time now, what was the state of Christian soldiers? Because I know you mentioned Youth and Green already, but anybody who know the musical history or the history itself of YASUS AFARI, I know that YASUS AFARI and Garnet Silk had history from even before the music.
Right at the embryonic stage, I would say, right here in Mandeville as well. And, you know, it's an important era, not just for us, but for Jamaica and the culture of Rastafari identity as well. Because we know that His Imperial Majesty is a Christian who follows Christ.
Yes.
But we know that Christ follows His Imperial Majesty. Because His Majesty is the Father of all humanity, bar none. And even Christ himself, in the biblical references, tells us that the Father and the Son are one. And if you listen to His Majesty carefully, he's insinuating the same thing as a follower of Christ and as the Father of Africa and humanity. So we still identify with the apostolic tradition, which is described as Christian. But there are different sections in Christianity. We think that the Oriental Orthodox Christianity is more closer to the apostolic tradition, which I think is closer to Rastafari. Because we are the people Christ who was crucified on the cross of slavery and colonialism and buried into the sepulchre of death and captivity.
Yes.
And the tomb became a womb and gave birth to I and I, the children of the Black Resurrection. So we live that death must die because we refuse to die. And we are the only holistic and authentic and indigenous response to that genocidal crucifixion of colonialism and slavery. So we are the people breathing new thoughts, new perspective, new hope, new love into the temple of the family of humanity. You know what I mean? I did this our thing there.
Yes.
So right now, you know, so we may not try to justify it, but may I put it in context why we would have identified the Christian soldiers.
Right.
Baptizing the dancer, my first album was Dancer Baptism. And right now we come forward to the same case where, and remember my second album was Mental Assassin,
yes.
you can choose whether the fire or the water. And the energy that we travel with. You know what I mean? So we come back at that same point now, I would like to think. And so what we did was to immerse the space into a certain level of, you know, consciousness, positivity, you know, just try to uplift yourself. Because we are a people who have been through great tribulation, as we just alluded to. We are so gifted, and so favored. We think we need to live to that level of blessing to be worthy. You know what I mean? So we really
agreed, man.
Yeah, thank
totally,
you. So,
wholeheartedly.
Yeah, thank you. So that was what we did then, and that's why we. The other day we had an encounter with Lisa Hyper, who reached out to I and I, and when she just reached out, I take it almost in jest, so I kind of laugh it off, you know. And she said, "You hold me," and she said, "Serious." But you know, we're people who seek and ye shall find, ask and it shall be given. So we kind of resonate with that. So if somebody really, if we feel say you're sincere and you're serious and you reach, we're going to try if we can. And so that was interesting. And so, long story, but the short of it is that we were having some meditation at the time and some reasoning with Winford Williams, and I spoke of her the day before I met her for the first time. So I stepped out the vehicle and this lady said to me, "That's just like your outfit. Can I take a picture with you?" I said, "Sure." So we take a few photographs. Horseman take the photograph. So when she walk off now, me say, so Horse, who that? Him say, no, Lisa Iver. I say, I lie here till then. Yesterday me I call her name. So by then, Winford, I said, boy, what a thing, like it was meant to be. And she come forward in the studio and we're doing on stage and she come forward and we reason. So that's just why we had, from last year, planned to do a symposium.
Right.
And so we're still zeroing in now, expand it to be a little bit more inclusive because, look here, one at a time when the Bible talk about Christ and Lazarus and what name? Zacchaeus,
climate tree.
Yeah. And Pharisees and the scribes and the politicians them. And the mama said, there's a man where they him want to be, you know. And if a man has sinned, then him they come to deal with the man who righteous in a good dog already, man.
You don't need for trouble here.
Right, so we don't call them sinner anything.
Right, but
say, if somebody reach out to you, say them want something with them things you have. And if you think you have it and you can share it, then you have to share it. And so it's the same responsibility we have in this space as well. And so the symposium is designed to do just that. We have some things to learn from them.
And them have things to learn from you.
Have something. So we teach them.
Like
if you're a teacher, you know, you have a problem. You know.
True. Amen, brother.
Thank you. That's how you go teach them?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Right. So that's what we're trying to encourage in this space.
And where we were before we went down the Lisa hype thing was the synergy and relationship that you develop with.
Try to tell you the same thing happen now. What happened then? Because it's our disunity partially responsible for the folly we are going right now. You know? Because if the Christian soldiers did hold and close ranks, as we knew was very vital from then. I don't want to point the finger and call no name, you know. We don't want anything
right. Well, yeah, we don't want that.
You know? But it is
the journey and the story is the story.
Yeah, and if I want to do the research. So we are saying now, if we, and notice me say we including me, had maintained that, I would think that more likely would have maintained a higher level of integrity in terms of the ethics and the morality and the social responsibility in the music and the culture and in the country and by extension the diaspora and the world. So in a sense, me still feel me have a certain level of moral obligation to help fix the thing. And that was why we refer to Lisa Hype, because it call you forward almost to that exact same point.
Full circle.
In the 90s when we intervened with the Christian soldiers and challenged the thing using the rhythm to say some positive things, and we don't know how sensational and successful Ghana Silk was. Right. I had my role that I played and the other.
We're going to talk a little bit about that as we go along.
So we've reached forward the same point now why we refer to Lisa, because we are at a point now where we reach that you could argue is the demise of dancehall music. We've done abundance ska and maybe dub to a certain extent. Reggae music has been hijacked internationally.
True that.
And Jamaica is in a position now where decadence and folly seem to be the order of the day, seem to be the norm, seem to be acceptable.
Folly indeed.
Within a music that was meant to uplift and empower and liberate ourselves spiritually, mentally, physically, economically, socially.
Yes.
So we do ourselves a very bad disservice. It's almost like we buy into the notion of voluntary genocide. Walking blind with the two eyes open wide. And we don't want to be a part of a generation that subscribe to that notion. So we are challenged that notion. And we are challenging it with a renewed zest right now, when it is even more critical than even then.
It is critical. Very critical. And whilst we're on this tangent, recently the Broadcasting Commission announced a ban on certain type of lyrics and songs that glorify certain lifestyle and liberty. What are your views on that development? What are your views on those developments, I should say?
On the development. What happened is that the government and them agents are guilty.
Yes.
The people are equally guilty. I would think. So all
agreed. Agreed.
So what happens is that it's a knee-jerk reactionary stance, I would think.
Yeah.
In a so-called democratic process, you build consensus through consultation.
True.
And so we have not seen effective
consultation.
And No disrespect to one of the hardest working government ministers with a supersized ministry, Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sports. But I think it's an indictment, and not just the ministry or the minister, but on the country, and us as a people. I notice me say us, including myself and I, that we couldn't find 10 songs
for the festival competition
to celebrate. We wouldn't put it away there. To celebrate our 60 years of being independent, dancing, pretending to be independent. No, that's a tragedy.
Independent dancing.
Yes, independent dancing, because we buy into this emancipation fiasco where we abandon the legitimate aspirations of emancipation and sovereign interdependence. Notice what I'm saying.
Sovereign interdependence. You have here shall hear.
All right. So you may say no, that's an indictment.
Yes.
But here how the indictment become a bit more amplified. It happened 1 year after, I would think, Toots animators through Tootsie Bird,
Right.
Buju Banton, Michigan of Michigan and Smiley, and others were, I would think, almost seduced and coerced
Into entering the competition.
While in truth and in fact, they should have aspiring writers and performers at their feet, learning from their experiences and their brilliance and success. Go on, if you say me, I go with this.
Understand, man.
So therefore, we're not doing enough proactive social intervention. We don't have enough creative arts experiences, creative writing. And when they exist, they don't get enough support from these agencies and ministries and the respective administrations over the time since 1960. So in a sense, while you maybe see that you have to arrest the situation, but that is not the solution. So we still have to call them out on the fact that you're not proactive enough.
Right.
And so that at least now let us come together and see if we can do that. So having a reason with Cardell Green, who I know from, he was at the University of the West Indies and I was at CAST. And so we want to involve him in the symposium.
Right.
We don't want to fling rocks one and point finger, you know. We just want to lock
inclusivity, man.
And work it out. Our country
And the best way that still.
Yeah. So that at least now, you know, you give a youth in your house a gun and you don't teach him. And when he shoot few words in siblings and in parents and himself, and burn down the whole house. You kind of have yourself in introspection too. When you're introspective.
Yes, definitely.
To blame. So in a similar way, learning from these experiences, from the schools and the kindergarten, from prenatal to postnatal time, we need to inculcate certain values. Where are people who have been programmed to hate yourself through neurolinguistic social and the casting after a neurolinguistic spell? Because we call the process of pressing us down, we call it oppress.
Oppress. And it should be down press.
And when you want to livicate, them don't want to talk about livicate, them say dedicate.
Dedicate.
And when you want to love something, you don't want to say appreciate love, you say appreciate hate. And when you eat to keep yourself alive, you call it diet.
Diet.
So these people, if you notice the civilization that we are part of, Christopher, the liar and crook and thief named Christopher Columbus. Remember, say his middle name is Colon, you know, or something to that effect. And he's the architect, or one of the chief architects of colonization. So therefore, that word you must recognize is the systematic and deliberate act of vampirizing a people and reducing them to feces as a conquest of war.
Colonization.
This is the basis of cannibalism. If you look in like some species of monkey, you have vegetarian monkey where the only time he eat meat is when he kill him enemy.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. So when I went into the Aotearoa, the Maori people in New Zealand, so them say I am the migrating albatross.
They said that?
Yeah. Them say a lot of other things, but that was one that them said I was a migrating albatross. I wonder what them people are trying to pull off for me. So when we go do my background check and thing, I said, what? Like honor the man, them ultimate
It is
honor.
that.
Them see the albatross as ancestral spirit that guide them. So, ooh. So because me take the liberty now if you say, so me can ask a question. Them say yes. I say, so me here say, full of people are cannibal. Are you? Them say yes. I say, really? So what's the rationale? How do you justify that? Them say they are from the traditional people,
Right.
the warring tribe, and the ultimate defeat of an enemy
And when you eat him, kill him and eat him.
and defecate.
And yeah.
So you see where this colonization come from. So while it might not have been literal in some sense, because
Right.
even the so-called royal family nowadays, 1958, them stopped. It is reported widely in many sources that they stopped eating human parts for medical and other reasons.
Yeah.
1958, you know.
I just the other day that
Just the other day, my brother man was about 58. So, so I wonder if you see where I come from.
so yeah, go.
You see where I go to.
Yeah, man.
Very even better. So, so you see how I struggle still? So you see, we as a people now, we know, in these neo-colonial constructions, we have not done enough because we have not decolonized the police force, now the army,
And the military, true.
the land,
And the parliament.
the parliament, the office of the governor called Governor
The
General,
General.
so the Henry Morgan office. The language,
Yes.
education,
The language, education.
foreign policy, economic policy, social policy, the language, not at all. So we have been seduced and lulled into a false space of security in this emancipation fiasco and abandoned the legitimate struggle of emancipation, reparation and repatriation.
Get comfortable in a Babylon, man.
Yeah. It's almost like a man leave work and to buy some stuff to go home, medicine and food for the family. And he stop a road, make some little girl a rub up on him and take away money, and junk him off, and he end up drop at ground and dog piss on him and lick off him mouth. And when him go home and no food not in there, him a beat up him family. Domestic abuse. And violence. And him money broke, they take away money and he spend it out by liquor. And then if he say my Mary. And we still have me pen, we are not a play pen, and that come from when them used to have the enslaved people
Yes, sir.
shine up, ready for the blood fire plantation farm. And we still maintain these names and these institutions,
I've always
pretending
said,
to be.
yes, I've always said that there should be no pens and no lanes in the country.
That's man, listen, my brother.
But
we need
you know what you know?
we need
certain things above my pay
All right.
grade.
You think in the language that you speak, and the language that you speak shape and dictate to thinking.
Every time.
So therefore, we have to know what we are doing with the heart language. Because language emanates from an experience. Language is experiential.
You know, just get up and know it. So actually experience is
Any
the language
language
form.
that is not experiential and emanate from an experience is an imposition of a part of a colonial construct and conquest. Like religion. Religion, by definition, I learned this when I was doing a residency at the University of Birmingham, the only black theological center in the Western Hemisphere. I did a residency there.
Yeah, I know.
Dr. Garnet Paris, I had invited Professor Hilary Beckles, who is now the Pro Vice Chancellor of the University of the West Indies. I brought him here during my residency. And in that session now, Dr. Garnet Paris, don't make the mistake, he said that before my presentation. I'm saying, hey, Dr. Paris, so hold on. Theology by definition must be liberative. By definition, of necessity, must be liberative. And especially black theology must be liberative. So I deduce from that in the transatlantic construct, the only liberative theology is Rastafari. This is how me accept that Rastafari is the only authentic and holistic and indigenous response, both political, social, economic and theological, to the transatlantic crucifixion and genocide. Because every other one in this space has been an imposition. There are elements of retention.
Right, true.
But in a wholesome construct, Rastafari is that. And so our people now Just like how if you're black, you get out of here.
Stay back.
If your lip too thick, if your bottom too big and round, and now we see them a juke and inject and that kind of thing. And if you hear, remember my family, them female in my family used to sleep with clothespin on their nose.
Straightening.
And they get the hot iron and even up to
them here.
you see what happens. So all of this is not, so that is more on a superficial level. But on another level now, we abandon our own virtues and we look for answers outside ourselves. When we have all the answers, we are the original people.
Christian soldiers, who were the members of the group?
Garnet Silk,
yes.
Tony Rebel,
Youth
and Green, Everton Blender, Sugar Black, Andrew Priest,
Culture Knox.
To an extent, you could have said Deuteronomy as well. And certainly myself, maybe a few others, not as close, but and other people, supported and identified
Right.
with. Charlie Chaplin supported and identified with Eddie Fitzroy.
Eddie.
To an extent, the Penthouse connection with Buju, Wayne, to an extent, and Luciano, Capitan, Sizzler, among others. Because we have a certain history with Buju, That's just why I was interviewed by Winford 2019 at the stadium. I was, Buju didn't need me to defend him, but I was speaking to, so the attributes and the struggle and recognizing his worth and his value.
Yes.
Because we have an history. When Sam did a tour and him can't go back to Europe like that, and him check the man them and the man them tell him say I mean to check. Cause when him check me I say, so I'm check them man and the man. And the man say, no of them tell me to check you. Cause very blah. And him link I and some interesting vibration took place. And him said, for him bar no one ever deal with him them way they attack him them way they yet.
Yes.
And that was a part of. And that's saying that was responsible now, but that was significant. In terms of the spiritual growth and development of
Buju Banton.
And so, that's why I sure say he had that connection and that association with the Christian Soldiers movement from that time. And so I was responsible for the Garnet Hill birthday bash.
Which became Rebel Salute? No.
I was responsible for Rebel Salute.
So hold on. So you're responsible for 1993, Garnet Hill birthday bash.
Yeah, 2nd of April. I did a dance on Crystal Rock for my youth named Fred Ellis. We went to cast together at Garnet Silk's sister Marcia in Hatfield. So as an entrepreneur and a businessman, it's almost like a two-word, like a round robin thing. So I can't place a name, just start it for one and double check, Right. So somebody said, wait. So we did want to keep a dance, which was my dance. But me a youth and a reason, I say, yo, me go upgrade the thing to a stage show. So the man, because we started some dance, the dance where we discovered Terry Linen, what happened before that.
Yes.
So, the man must say, boy, money if we not even to dance what says show. But we made it happen. So when I kind of ready now, me say, Silk, ready for my thing, And so he called Bridget Anderson. And said, tell ISOS, can call me several names including ISOS. Tell ISOS what date available. And she read out some date. I said, I like the 2nd of April, I don't want me to work with. I love it, give out. But I Garnet Silk birthday. So I say, we in Garnet Silk birthday bash. So I pay Garnet Silk to perform on his birthday.
You paid him to perform?
See, Carlo there, if you can call.
And as a man.
Garnet the first about money, But Carlo, no disrespect, I'm a virgin where you come see me.
Yeah, why?
Carlo, I know Jim called the show look big.
Say, yo.
And me never even take the money, me deposit it in an account, Christian Soldiers account.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, at NCB Bank on Manchester Road. So what happened is that, it's a long story, and
chop it up for me.
We chop it already, we don't go to this. So
yeah.
I'm just saying, so we don't really want to go to there, because people say, very, especially when them time of year come round. And remember, I said, Red Black, my brother, Garnet Silk, my brother. As a matter of fact, we are a triplet. One we are DJ, one we are singer, one we are poet. Whenever we design that, people find that out to we.
Natural vibration.
Yeah.
Mystic.
So what happened is that that was how that came about, and then now we did want to keep. Because remember, Sugar Black should have female show White House, Youth and Green, Comfort, Everton Blender, Clarendon, down Film side.
Yes, side.
Me, Red Dot Showcase. And so Rebel did kind of resist, because him not like the birthday thing. I came up with the name Rebel Salute, inspired by Knock Salute. And kind of almost, I don't want to say brainwashing, but convincing to work with the thing. And so it was largely my initiative, with resistance. About me, if you buy them up for you with some money, one at a time.
Yeah.
But there's a lot more to it, but leave it to the sucker. The man are there if he talk for himself.
Yes,
and next
fair
thing
enough.
you know, a good lie me I tell upon the people then. So we don't want to do that.
Yes, fair
So
enough,
just
man.
say, but we have a duty and we put it out there.
On a part of your history and journey
Part of
that
my
too.
history and
Yes,
the
yes.
movement, more importantly. Because if I'm a griever or anything, is what it does to undermine the struggle and the aspirations that we had. Bigger than man, bag, book and pocket is the struggle, the liberation of our people. Because we serious about that,
I realize. I have come to realize that.
Yeah, I did the same thing there.
Look at Bimbo, the great.
Yeah, him not like that name they do.
Like
So
a Bimbo.
why not call him Ghana?
They're going to do that too, man. Where do I think, one of the greatest, one of the men who had the biggest impact on the musical space in Jamaica. You were instrumental in quite a number of things that Garnet did. Some people might not know them, I'm going to know now. You wrote the first verse of
I
I Saw Zion in a Vision.
And that happened on my birthday on that year. Because quote unquote, I remember I was at Dynamic Sounds doing some work.
I mean, quote Nicole from Grove. Yeah, man.
I used to work a lot at Grove, but at
Right, so.
the studio down at Grove. And so him said if he come studio the following day, so and I said, remember did in a blue track, but I'm looking on a sleeveless white top. So me I tell him I said, my birthday tomorrow morning. He said, I best stay that for work. So he said, that makes sense. All right.
Yeah, man, yeah,
so
man.
I say, you Garnet, very blah. So Garnet said, I'm not close to wear. So I said, so you're naked then? He said, me say me naked. He said, I say, you're not close to wear. That means to say you need to go home now. You know that. Yeah, you need to go home now, go bathe, go wash your clothes and put it behind the fridge for dry. But when you're morning and you check you.
You're ready.
So I'm morning him in I see him suit clean and fresh. And we go to the studio and into ISIS. You know, like more made a combination. You can't leave the studio and do a song together. You know? So him did a vibe on the hip hop soap with him. And me hear him sing and me say, I sing a Johnny Nash cover.
I can see clearly now.
Yeah. And me say, hold on there, sing that again. And him start Barry O'Hare. Me I talk about Professor Frisky was there, Mickey Simpson, President Brown, Jigsy King, Crushy One String.
The whole roof link up.
And Barry O'Hare was the student engineer. So when him start again and come for and say, I saw me say, what's your trouble? So
Wash it all away.
And so the man start laughing at me, say, how it sound? The man say, how it sound?
Bad.
And the wickedest thing ever, you better make sure, go around it before you forget. And we just lick it. By the time you reach home, a Mandeville,
Tune boss.
it was a hit song. So when we come a Mandeville in front of the market, a virgin named Stewie is a drummer. I say, what me and a white girl, this song is bad. I say, I must move to your top.
Yeah, man.
White girl
Don't do that song, yeah.
I say, yeah man, you. I say, virgin. And you know, me go across. The Leroy's Electronics was in that area. The bus taxi stand was there to go Hanbury Road. So when we go to the taxi stand, somebody just says me say, boy, me hear you a singer. Do a song the bad. I say, Bertrand, no go so. So when me reach at my ends now, the woman, the woman say, and I say, me hear you and gone. I say, you a keep up the same thing too. Listen, me not do no combination. As a matter of fact, the only combination I do in my life, I told them I do it and I left the studio come straight. I think I go Spanish Town and take bus go Spanish Town and take a bus come in and so not possible. They say, well, you then call your name. So I take up the phone now and I say, go to the call. What go on? The two of them are there with laughing. So Silk did stay there with the man thing. And, them cut dub plate, can't have a dub studio.
Right.
Can't go out. And them take the dub plate, they make really high FM. They play mostly over 10 times for the day. So that was then. But I don't go too deep into that car, it's behind Silk back still. But Silk say something happened to him when we say wash your troubles. Cause he feel like he did salt or under some way. And him have reason why him think so too.
Yeah.
And him say when the words were, so him used to call me John the Baptist because of that.
Yeah, baptized.
And interestingly, they used to call me John the Baptist in the community due to the name John.
Oh, yeah?
And my mother gave me the name inspired by John the Baptist of the Bible as well. So that's interesting.
John Sinclair.
Him never know that either. You keep talking. Why not just say John, man? So hear this now. So that was interesting. And so I, on the journey now into Ocho Rios when we revised that song.
Right.
Jesus, get a dream, And he sees His Majesty and that. So he might relate to me now, the dream. And I say, you are the writer, man, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I wrote, I think the first and part of the second verse. And then I think him asked me back feet and him finish it up. So that was how I
feel like you take no writer's credit for that tune, though.
No. Because in truth, me maybe not deserve it. Technically, if you look carefully and critically at intellectual property rights, I would have been entitled.
Someone take writer's credit for one line, yes.
Yeah,
a bridging business, you understand the vibration. Big tune.
Yeah, big tune.
World tune.
World tune. So hear this now. The first time Ghana Silk up on radio is Richie B interview Marge. Well, I don't know, them lose a cassette there, but the man voice a tremble like a willow tree.
Nervous.
The first time he performed in Kingston and St. Andrew, and we call him up at Rockers Awards at Coney Park. And the first time on TV was at Clarendon College 50th anniversary in 1992. You can see it on
YouTube
if you check it. Just like you see when we mash up Stone Love Dance at Circle B Farm.
Oh, wow.
Almost the same. Some interesting synergies
I-pen.
in terms of theology, in terms of I-pen now. One at a time in check out Hanbury Road. There's another long story now, or something. But anyway, so him see a poster poem that I have on the wall. And them read it and impressed by it. And I said, him I go sing it. I said, well, if you sing it, me crown you as a human nightingale. So one day, I think it was by Balvenie Heights. And the man actually sing it. And me crown him as a human nightingale.
Yeah.
And we recorded it on my label.
That was I-pen.
I-pen.
And you had written I-pen from
before me.
From before. Mystical vibration, sir.
And that was the same poem, largely inspired the link between Ines Kamose's introduction of me to Fatis when we recorded Anna for Fatis.
Anna.
Ghana Silk is one of my greatest, I don't want to say fan or air condition, one of my greatest support and admirers, Ghana Silk. Another one is Ines Kamose, and another one is Ducky Simpson of Black Hole. Not just in words, but tangible ways as well.
Yes.
And so it was an honor to have Ghana Silk sing that song. I actually produced another song with Ghana Silk, called People Dancing, which went top 10 in Japan. And came out on the Dancer Baptism album.
What kind of input you have or had in Skylarking?
No. What happened is that we do a dub plate for Conquering Lions sound system.
Oh, okay.
And the man him turn it in a song Australia, me go hear it and play it on radio.
Yeah.
And I said, hold on there, where do you get that? Them show me the CD. But that was a dub plate we did that. Kilimanjaro.
Jaro.
Yeah.
Big dub that it is. I can see clearly now. Give me a couple lines out of one of your verse, okay, about two.
Wash your troubles, wash them all away. Come make we work to find a new day. And if you work, you must get your pay. The words of the Father, we must have to obey. And so you know you have to find a new day. Come make we work to find a new day. Progress is the name of the game. Now bother worship your riches and fame. Feed the hungry, help the lame. Shelter the shelterless and feed the children. No. Now bother bow down to no heathen. Your words and your work. You know God will bless and ultimately you must find a new rest. You get for your pay in the new day. Now that you find a new day, like birds of a feather, make we come together. Now bother fight against you one another. Come make we help you build a strong future. So you see, the sentiments expressed in that poem was really what informed and inspired what I up to now.
Right.
If you notice carefully, the Rasta creed is in that as well. Feed the hungry.
Feed the hungry.
So we there have to look at it. The children, the vulnerable. So we are trying to use the music as a vehicle for some of these values and messages.
Transfer the values.
Yeah, so that was what came out, and it never. I mean, up to now, I don't even think. I must say years after me, end up writing those words.
Straight from the cranium.
The inspiration. Because we see ourselves as a conduit, you know, my brother. You know what I mean? It's like the way I see the faculty to reason and language and so on. Those were embedded from the very beginning and dawn of human civilization in poetic memory codes. So we are just retentive vessels and conduits of those relics and residues of those original programming. Only if you say that,
See it, man.
yeah. So that is why we take this sacred work so important, and that's why it kind of bleed with heart when we see the youth them are use it for self-destruct and bring down the morality and the dignity and the integrity and the values of the people. We are a people who are the children of the Almighty God and God. These are values that we must use as a reference point to recalibrate and realign and reset. Because look, a long time we are driving, nearly 2 billion years. So from time to time we have to line up the front end, you know?
True.
So I did say, and when we see a guana now, boy, the front end are wobble.
Bad man.
And the artist is a leading
like crab
light.
walk over, so.
Yes, and the artist is a leading light, you know. So you see anyone when I be a leading light, he's an artist but a con artist.
I agree.
And we have to call no name, your works shall know them, your fruit or you be right at half for you.
By his work shall a man be known, man.
So as leading light, we supposed to lead from forward and enlighten the people.
Elevate, man, and teach, man.
And the thing, as you
Uplift,
said, a crab walk,
encourage.
Go by in a bush when you lock off on the road. So, even as we are teach them, hopefully, I would hope that even one little iota utterance would have helped a one feet.
I would have hoped so too, you know. Straighten up yourself, man.
Yeah, man. All of ourselves, car. None of we know. You know, life is not absolute. You have two sides to the coin.
Yeah.
That's why balance and harmony is so important. And so that we now cost them or try to belittle them, lift them up and encourage them. If you say, come man, make we do this thing better, because we are a very special people.
We are.
We are talented, we are beloved, we are blessed, we are beautiful, we are strong, we have a rich history. We buck it when we are going through a little tribulation, but we can come out forward and build ourselves and reinvent ourselves and reassert ourselves as the custodians of the planet Earth and the custodians of the human family. And so we must reinstate Mother Africa and the other First Nation and indigenous peoples of our planet to the throne of honor and glory, which they naturally and organically deserve, and from which they were displaced and dispossessed by the colonization of the First Nation inhabitants and the custodians of the covenant between God and man and heaven and earth. So this is a life and a situation, my brethren.
We will hold that part of this. So.
Yeah.
We spoke about hype and I can see clearly now and honor. But probably this song, the dub poem that YASUS AFARI is most quickly identified with, well, one of two is my mother who fathered me. World, may I say a song? World song.
True.
World body of work. And I would assume that, you know, it is the struggles of your mother growing up kind of help influence and motivate.
Definitely.
Depending on that.
And that doesn't mean either about the entire community. She's a remarkable woman. You would think she's a mad woman to something what she do. Have 4 picnic and raise about 11. I never ever have a husband.
Yeah.
I never see the first man sleeping in my house and my brother.
The first man
I
see
know,
the
and
house,
the second one of me.
Ayo.
You understand what I say? And Hilton, which was adopted brother too. So
Okay.
what me I say is that two women they come from a one room mud house with any amount of things and build a nice little place man, several acres of land and stand up amongst our youth them man. Boy, and make me feel shame. So when we look back on the work with that woman, look out, remember so when you grow up you think say your mother miserable, you can't wait for left the
True
prison.
that.
When you go a road you say, what? It was the prison of heaven. So you kind of re-evaluate. Not that was extreme, but mama strict and have you under rain and things. So you said, boy, wait, I broke out. When they broke out, he said, nothing out there. And so you start reflecting on me. I said, what a woman, man. So that was what kind of deposited its energy in my mother who fathered me. Because my father licked for him head somehow because through my mother decided to give me the name John. She wanted to name my brother John. The father wouldn't have it. Maybe through him born in 1890, you know, so she have a couple of years over, you know.
Yeah.
Him have several years, so she may be younger and more assertive by then. So she now listen to him and say, maybe, what's like how she going to lose her womb when she give birth to me? It's no one ever. John, see your name come now. So, my father school for that, you know.
So I'm taking it serious then. Because I know you mentioned it earlier, saying, say, if you get the name there, you're not feeling pitney again.
But the other day, I read the Bible in St. Luke. And one man named Zachariah do the same thing to one woman named Elizabeth. I dumb him, you know. That when all the baby fi name a paper, I have to write it on. My father dumb for about 10 years.
Like literally physical. Okay.
Licky mate for 10 years.
Oh.
Then we reconnect. So these things, I won't go too deep. It's
Yes.
not really just sermon this, but we see life, you see my brother, nothing is new under the sun.
Nothing at all.
So when you talk about creation and recreation, life is cyclic.
It's a cycle.
Keep renewing itself. Sing it out of them, say meditation. And life is like a piano. Octave, higher, lower, it's the same thing. Like you come to 100, I repeat it. When you go to 10, I repeat everything come after that, you know.
My mother who fathered me, they got a couple bars out there.
Right, so that was in tribute to not just my mother,
But
all
all
women.
mothers and all women.
And me borrow it too, for lend to the man them. We balance the thing when some of the woman them.
Step aside.
Because some of the woman head lick too, you know. Not as much as the man them.
Which is true.
But
To be fair.
yeah, to be fair. So what happened now? Toward your mother, my mother who fathered me. Born in October 1923, of a humble couple, industrious as a bee. Her love and affection as wide as an ocean. That's my mother who fathered me. Through the years, she toiled and sweat because she had more children. It's not just me. Yet the dignity, she brought us up. So thanks be to my mother who fathered me. A couple bars you asked for that about 8. So here what happened now. What happened is that my mother, born in and I harmonized Aaron Silk and Pam Hall and Heather Cummings.
Oh yeah?
Richard Harmony, you know.
Richie True, man.
So me tell you the name them. All the baby were ball in there down a Lagos studio, you know. The baby come in there and ball and they must say, Mr. No.
Keep that in there.
Keep that in there. So it wasn't staged. And so that poem when we give my mother in about 1983, she had to live in her water.
Yeah.
And it touched her heart, you know. And because you don't know it go. This was even before cast, you know, so. But she could have seen certain little sign, but she loved the fact that her own son could have write such a poem. Knowing the struggle and we appreciate love her.
Yes.
And I strengthen her and people call her from the radio station. People want to come meet her, you know, to the goodness of the poem. So this is how we try to use the work for uplift, as I said, not just for your mother, but you could do it for your mother, your woman, your children, the community. And
music as a vehicle for upliftment, man.
A vehicle for upliftment. And so, you know, if you notice, I said my mother was born in October 1923. So next year we're celebrating her centenary.
Yes, 2023. Nice, man. There's another poem, dub poem, that I think was influenced by your mother. Poetry Can't Name.
Right. On the flip side of inspiration. Because My mother now, girlfriend Twiggy, me and she had traveled from States. Feel good, so me gone to college now. Then the next thing you know, now them disappointed in Rasta. My mother disappointed the community. I wonder if people who come upon me study ration told me an idiot. So, and Twiggy, I wonder if he turned Croft, nice, handsome, intelligent boyfriend, turned Papi Show. So, bam now, when we go home now to the summer holiday, that time I used to wear all wallaby and me have a, with a cap to the buckers. I used to wear buckers, you know. So the holiday, you know, I go in and thing and people wonder what I go on. Then my mother said, Tony, call me Tony. My mother said, wait, so wait, and work and thing. And me, I said, I live off a poetry. Mother kiss her teeth that me think her teeth don't drop out her mouth. Boy, ever you say poetry can now? Say, if you go cut off your locks and go look work. I said, I'm police and I love Rasta.
Yes.
I said, Mama, but I don't go police and I love Rasta. Soldier and I love Rasta either. And the society and the politician, we're going to see the love of police and soldier and politician. We see the love of Jah. That make you move aside, you know. So, yes. So me I say, Mama, I and I still love you. Mama say, I and I, so I don't know what, no. So that never helped this
Never worked out so well.
But anyhow, when my mother here say, me I go on tour and hear the different countries where me I go, she puzzled. So one day she said, so Tony, the multiple place where me say I go, what do I play the plane for you? So there was a sort of shift.
Yeah, shift now, yeah man, as it normally happens.
Yeah. But then the good thing about it, I'm happy with myself for that. We never really make it reach no antagonistic.
Right.
I know that woman is good and she love her and I want the best. Remember the first time I go travel now, between me, some people say I never say it, but I say it still. The first time I go travel now, my mother, I can't remember. Must be one time, if I can't remember, when my mother ever tell me that she love me. But if my mother did ever tell me that she love me, I would holler. Because I say I did more dead now. Why should I tell me that she love me?
She feel a vibe like she a try that, eh?
No, but I must feel so because it's so obvious that she don't have to say it. And me, I must one time ever tell my mother that I love her either, you know. Because I don't have to tell her that. So,
obvious.
Action speak louder than word. So anyhow, me kind of want to, because you go in the Iron Bird and no one, you know, you feel like to know that me, I go travel, which me did want to do. And you know, so my mother at the foundation, me kind of want to hug her up. And that's something because I go too near my mother, you know. So I decided to hug up my mother now. So I remember, I think my Virgin Deli man there did it with me, that a priest Keita, one of them. So, you ever dream like you try to get up and run and can't run?
No, sorry, but I dream that still.
No, never had a dream that you have the dream. You have it too? Good.
But are you too late, right?
No. So look, you know. Well, anyhow, this was a daylight dream.
Jump up, yeah.
Daylight. Me I try to lift up my hand, pick up my mother, and I can't lift you up. And she right in front of me, about close like you know. So be can't lift up my hand and time I go and I look at my watch, so and I look at my hand and I can't now move. And I just muscle up, man, and hug up my mother. I think me tell her I say I love her. And then I just walk with the same time, just shy. And then no. one of me, not my blood sister, but it's my sister.
Yeah.
So me think my mother, I know what I go on. My mother tell them, say, the boy turn up in front of me for about 1 hour. I want to hug you up and can't hug me up. And I look at him watch. And when he sees the time I go, he just make up his mind and give me one hug.
Oh God.
Oh God. So, but you see, it's not say a good thing. Come tell my daughter something.
Yes.
But the other day, me and my daughter a reason still, Mikaya.
Okay.
Mick. And he's not a man into. No help, I love car. Look, you know, you have some people who tell you say they love every 5 minutes. And you start to wonder, they might try to get your yard. No, car, you tell me already, I'm not forget yet. So, if every now and again you tell me if you update the thing, then maybe that could have worked. But if you tell me every 5 minutes, and then worse when you do something contrary to what you say.
Right.
So me that a reason. And me that. So I said, but I not tell you that. I tell you still, but I not tell you whole it, and you not tell me whole it neither. But By the way, Mick, have you ever doubted? He said, no, Daddy.
That's the most important
He
thing.
equally never doubted. Because, you see, love is an action word, you know. I don't say you can't speak it.
It's a verb, man.
Yeah.
That is what it is. You have to show it. That's what we show.
I want you to show it convincing. If you want a little word to decorate it, it's okay. But
Yes. One now, commercially, that was a monster hit in the journey. Put it in.
Yes,
Must
you
put
must
it
have to go
in.
in.
Have to go in, man.
busy, I can tell you a quick secret, you know.
Tell me.
We had wanted, we're not stupid, you know. So we
You know
wanted,
that for true.
no, we're not stupid. And we wanted to entice the people without sacrificing.
Without selling out and prostituting.
So we kind of toe a line, because we don't want to be
Play on
irrelevant.
word, man.
Yes, so we want to say, spice up the thing and still teach you something in the meantime. So anyhow, so that was what several emanate from that, you know.
Yes.
'Cause anyhow, Kirkle Dove, people them saying have to release that one day. Anyhow, so what happened is that we really wanted to entreat the people because we want to carry them to a direction and a journey.
Yes.
And so, if you cut the story short, one day, you know, Barry Clark from Big Ship said they want me to record a song. So, Garnet said me not to record that song, you know, because the leading Christian soldier, people get the wrong impression. Because one time I mash up a show with Dennis Howard at Twins Gates Plaza, you know. And people called
Using put it in.
and one day they sang them and the people must say, YASUS. So I still get nervous. I said, you don't understand. So if me say, check free eye round a culture knocks, that was in the song originally, you know. So when Freddie called me, if you come at the studio, me did I meditate and say, you know, say, maybe the people are ready for the song there now. I say, gone it. You know, they are still, you know, but if you say people are ready for that song, you know.
Yeah.
And then, boom, them call me up a Big Ship. That I do quite a bit of work with Big Ship, and them play the rhythm for me. And brother, when them play the rhythm, the only song with us boop in my head, I put it in. And when me drop it on the rhythm, come like a meat make for. So Freddie say, so what you call that song here? Me say National Pot. Freddie kissing teeth like my mother.
Long.
And I say, that's us. Put it in here, madman. National Pot. I put it in the song name and it makes sense. So I say, all right, so put it in. So essentially, you know, if you show you something, I never really saw, and I like me naive or that innocent still, you know. But my headspace wasn't even in if you call it, put it in, you know, National Pot. If you listen with the song they are saying, you know, it's not like when we used to cook in a 3-foot pot and a man can piece of cocoa, piece of yam, piece of this, and you go for the water, you go for the wood fire, you cook, you make the dumpling, and you get little food in there, you cook on a cocoa leaf or juke up one dumpling, pan piece of stick. So it's like cooperative effort you put into the thing and you get out of the thing. That was what inspired me. If you listen carefully to the lyrics
Yes.
of that song. And so you play upon the word put it in, because you know we still, you know, have that fascination with the man-woman relationship and so on, and we draw some of that energy. But essentially, that song is really about a national pot.
With the food they carry
Come
when they get fat.
that is a national pot. And every single Jamaican have any amount of that.
Yeah.
So some people want it to look like something else, but which like a woman thing. Which man would want the whole Jamaica to be with the woman?
Put it, everybody have put it.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then now, in any event, if you buy even bad blood, it must have to go in, you know. Because look, if you are planting the farm and you dig the hole, where you are doing the seed,
You have to put it in.
and when you put on your clothes, and when you put in the car key, and when you go back over your
You have to
yard,
put it in.
and let's use a big word now, when you're procreating,
You have to put it in.
so
You have to put it in. Be a couple bars out of tune or out of bad tune, man.
a good tune, man.
Out of good tune.
No, this is the original all-in-one YASUS AFARI and BCR in combination, that's the label.
Right, claro.
Take the cover off a pattern, just put it in, make you put it in. Come sister, help me dance now. Put it in, put it in. Take the cover off a pattern, just put it in. We must put it in. Come make we cook a pot. That is a national pot. And every single GA can them have in the amount of that. Time to start work and stop the big chat. For the fire hit a blaze and the pot will hot. Check ISOS round a house of Anna. Remember Garnet as we gather some facts. Check big ship just fi put it on wax. And when the pot land, people love it to the max. Put it in, we must put it in. Put it in, he must have to go in. Put it in, dash in Ghani. Put it in, cocoa Ghani. Put it in, we must put it in. Put it in, he must have to go in. Put it in, green corn Ghani. Put it in, plantain Ghani. Push the food to the bottom of the pot. Use a golden spoon and stir up that. Make it see my arm bubble, put the lid pan top. Can no hungry belly have in your mouth of that. And then my kind of food make cherry get fat. Dish up me food in and make it style bash. Use 3 lime and me make some wash. Deal with the matter and then me relax. Put it in, me must put it in. Put it in, it must have to go in. Put it in, green corn gone in. Put it in, plantain gone in. So me cook a pot to me heart desire. The menu that me soul require. Now you see, me sister who so love me cooking, nothing to she but fi ride the rhythm. So she said, do, now make the fire dwindle. I sauce push food, and make the fire kindle. So she said, do, now make the fire dwindle. I sauce push food, and make the fire. A wood fire, me a cook.
We do a wood fire, man.
Okay. Put it
We do a wood fire.
You can ask her, don't it? Yeah.
Massive commercial success, man.
Yeah, in many different ways. And if me never careful, people brand me with that one sound.
Yeah?
And then I remember about we song, I can see clearly, work, brand new world, honor.
Pat was skanking.
Pat was talking and Pat was
Jamaica.
Jamaica.
I feel like crying.
Hard and tough. Feel like, but you know,
tough.
tune man. Feel like crying. And many other, you know what I mean? So,
Wine pan paper is a later
wine
thing.
pan
still.
paper until now, well, Golden Spoon Maroon.
Golden Spoon Maroon, yeah. We soon come around to
Recently.
Golden Spoon Maroon.
So, but me full joy, and people full joy. I always see them a go on with them, love it, them tease them, talk them, that. But at the end of the day, it's still a show. We're flexible with skill. Not for the things that the boy them are do. We could have do that and the worst.
Because as I said,
we gauge ourselves.
yeah. And as I said that, you made mention earlier where Dave said he would then be a bad DJ. Me agree.
I would a good DJ. You mean.
A good DJ.
Yeah.
You then be a good DJ. I totally agree.
Yeah, I think so for true. And the Dr. Dread from Ross Records, that was before me and me show. He wanted to market me as a
The
DJ.
DJ.
And but anyhow, recently I think it was Cecilia Legister who said one time, but yeah, Dub J.
Dub J. Yeah, man, you then be a really good DJ for true.
Well,
Cadence,
I'm a
tone,
good
delivery, everything.
Yeah. But we borrow that energy to point. We made a sacrifice to live an art form and to kind of use, and that is why now is another important parallel to the Christian Soldiers era, whereby we want to use the poetry now to reset and realign and recalibrate the social compass of our people with the fundamental values and principles and principles that guide and inform us as a people.
Yes.
If you look at what our grandparents struggled that they had been through and how they hold them head up and lift up us, they couldn't read and write, but them go market, them hustle, them farm, them chop down tree, them burn coal, just to give you an education, just to lift you up and make you be somebody of worth and value and importance and not catch up on nobody eyelash.
True, that's I'm a big and heavy, you know.
Yeah.
Can't hold this.
No, sir.
It's, you would have also done background work with people like General Degree.
You know, say I lie that way they have on the internet.
And so you go,
No, sir.
Everton Blender,
No,
Tony Rebel,
no. Sometimes things jump up on the internet when I go so.
when I go so,
And them say me and Silk know each other from childhood days. We were not children when we
when you knew
met
each other.
each other. We were young, youthful
Right.
people. And so I don't know how that background thing.
But he did it for true, as I say,
Yeah, I
you're
see it
so
and people
correct.
keep saying it, but it's not
So we are correct them now.
correct that. Nothing is wrong, but it wouldn't happen like
It's
that.
not
so
true.
don't-
If
don't
I'm not
want to
true, I'm
tell
not
a
true.
lie, Yeah.
Yeah, so none of that what them say.
No. I produced Everton Blender,
Oh, you did?
yes. Degree I'm a brethren. Tony Rebel is my brother. I don't know if he is my brethren, but he is my brother. Who is he called? And generally, he's my
General
brethren.
Degree, yes,
He's a man,
yeah.
man, a good youth, and he work on shows that I promote, but nothing like what.
Yes. You would have done considerable body of work. First album 1993, Dancehall Baptism, as I say. Then Mental Assassin 95.
Idea about
Yeah, some once upon you. And I crown him.
Yeah.
That I know, 97 there about. Like every 2 years you did I work with, brother.
Aye.
Mm.
And Tapazuki, I have to give him credit. He produced Mental Assassin.
Oh, gift
And-
of vision.
Yeah.
And vision spelled VIJAN. I like that.
Yeah, cause you know how the thing
Yes,
goes. Remember,
man.
say, even the son, my mother named John. John is synonymous with vision, you know. So we don't make the connection there. You know? Give us vision.
Give us vision.
Let's see.
Revolution chapter 1. That was 2007.
Yeah.
Public Secret.
Yes.
05.
that was a-
2013.
That was a kind of, no, I think Ancient Future was before Public Secret.
Ancient Future was before
2012,
Public Secret.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, Ancient.
Before Protege too, you know.
I love the names that you give to the albums.
Give thanks.
Gift of Vision, beautiful name. Ancient Future.
Yeah.
Brilliant, man.
Because that which was
Mental
that which is and
Assassin.
that which is to be. Because we kill poverty, ignorance and injustice. And we baptize as well. So
Dance
this
our
is what we are
baptism.
trying to do. And
And a
Revolution
crown.
chapter 1. We don't want when they know when chapter 2 are going, we just give them a little heads
Let's
up
give
for
them
chapter
one.
1. But I'll know them.
The
with
Revolution
chapter 2
will be
go tell them,
televised. The latest album
And I
now.
crown him as well.
And I crown him.
Significant with Father, Mother, Heaven in Earth, spiritual in humanity, God in man, Goddess in woman, the divine in
A lot
humanity.
of thought behind everything. Father, your son.
Public Secret again.
Public Secret.
Yeah, this came from
Brilliant
when
name,
I got
man.
my name. I was in a spiritual conference. I was the only one in flesh in that conference. When my name and my mantle was bestowed, YASUS AFARI. And so they gave me the meaning of my name from before the birth of Christ in the Bible. And the meaning and the purpose. And remember I say, evil is a tolerance which good itself allows, and in the interest of
Yes.
its own self-preservation, good will find it necessary
Yes.
to do without the tolerance of evil. Some plus and minus, tolerance and allowance, mercy, even the judiciary, those are exercise of mercy. And so when mercy gone, judgment come. And,
Mercy
and
gone,
yeah,
judgment.
so vision is really mercy transform. Because when you expel evil, you have to expel mercy, you know, but mercy endure forever. So on how we can endure forever and be expelled, have to be transformed. So I got a formula of how you can hide in the public.
Public Secret.
So Public Secret now was to kind of, because you see, people don't like confrontation of such. So the subtleties and the subliminals and the innuendos and the programming can be happening without, while people relax. That is why when you carry out a woman, you date her, and that is why you have foreplay. You understand? And that is why when you meet people, you exercise the social graces. You know what I mean? And that is why you date a woman, if you see how she eat and how she pull out that chair and you match notes. And then you want her to feel receptive. 'Cause you
Yes,
don't want to
true,
impose
true,
yourself.
true.
And so I'm just talking as adults now. So the Public Secret was kind of because so many things are hidden in plain sight.
You get that, man.
Yeah.
You get that.
And so all of them come out of talk.
I mean, I always say the safest place to hide something from somebody in front of them.
In one time, then I used to say, if you write your name, bad, bulla, or something
I
like
hate
that, I don't even know. And if you notice, all when the thief then come, if you ever hide money in a book, they never find that.
Kind of good at the book. The latest body of work, Golden Spoon, Maroon.
Yes, that is why you don't make me start telling the history. I miss it.
Chop it up.
Chop it up? Well, anyhow. The first 8 bars came 39, 40 years ago.
Oh, yes.
And when I wrote it on a piece of paper and put it in a grey folder, I couldn't find another word. I mean, I have writer's block on them. Something came to me and said, when the time is right. So chop it up, fast forward last year, somebody reached out to me and asked me for help with a project. And I decided to support them. I don't have met this person up to this day.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. And I was busy working on Jamaica Poetry Festival, so I was distracted. And something said to me one night, come off your computer, man, and listen to the track with him. Said, obey the voice, and I listen to the track. 1 minute and a half, 90 seconds into the track, Me never forgot look back for the paper. The 8 bars
Everything
come
just
to me,
flow.
and me just finish right and and by the time I recorded it on the 16th, I think, of August last year.
Yeah.
2 days after that, I see a hashtag come out by this person called Chief Richard Curry. Name Sound the Abeng or something
Sound
like
the Abeng.
that. And in the poem, we have, I think, the Warriors Rise and Sound the Abeng. In the next side, they
Gold
said
and Stone Maroon.
yeah, so it's a longer story to it, but we won't go into that this time around. So that was what came, and so the time seemed to be right in terms of what is happening with the Maroons and other indigenous peoples around the planet Earth, and what is happening with the pandemic and all these other issues. So we think that, you know, it's significant, and so we decided to put an album together, and we talked to a few companies, but at the end of the day, we signed the album to VP Records.
VPAL.
To VPAL, and so the teaser single came out on the 4th, Plain and Simple.
Plain and Simple.
Me and my daughter Mick. And then on the 11th, the song called What a Sin Thing.
Aine Kamoze
came out. And then on the 19th, We Love You Mama Africa with
Barry Saman.
And then the album now dropped globally.
The 25th of November.
On the 25th of November. And it's an album that is eclectic, whole heap of producers and musicians from all over the world, the best of the best. And what we do with that album, not giving away too much, but we kind of have a marriage and a harmony between dub and poetry. Because hitherto, even though it named dub poetry, there wasn't a conscious, concerted effort to harmonize dub and poetry in the sense that we attempt to do it on this album. So it's significant, and already people reaching out. We already do a remix of What a Sin Thing by the youth Marvin Prince from Canada, who discovered snow. He's responsible for Informer. So he has already done a remix in electronic dance, EDM.
Oh yeah?
And it crabba. Terrible. And then now, people have an interest in reggaeton, Afrobeat. So we're doing some experiment. I know I was kind of make for the market. And then me now was a little bit new to that space, but the combination and the chemistry, vocal chemistry is significant. And so we're getting some really good earplay already for it.
And it will be on all digital Play Store.
Digital.
Sounds good.
Every single one.
So me go make Apple Music, go make sure I support the thing.
Yes, thank you. And we're putting out on vinyl and CD too.
Vinyl can't lose it.
No, and because of the nature.
Or hold on, sorry for cut you. The vinyl at Jamaica at a press?
No. Because Tough Gang.
Yeah, me say them alone do it right now.
No, well, them do it for themselves, they're not ready for public because they have back order.
Because me actually called them the other day, I try get an opportunity to document the whole pressing process. When I reach somewhere yet
still. Go document it. And,
but yeah, the YASUS Afari, you know. So.
And so them now come public. I hope them don't mind me saying this because at least it lured a leak out. And they have the intention and the ambition, so we hope they reach that way fast. But they have them personal order what they have to
what they have to do.
So get that out the way first and then hopefully. But that's really unfortunate that we would have. That's why we can't listen. That's why we said to the people, even if you have a spacecraft and you have the nicest, fanciest vehicle, you don't have to sell the donkey. You know?
True.
And if you poison yourself with all the microwave, you don't have to lose the ability to rub 2 sticks and make your wood fire on your coal pot. And when you are poison yourself with the pharmaceutical things them with the doctor them give you know. Some of them good, some bad. But you don't have to lose the knowledge of the comfort and the ganja life and the devil horse with
Dopicod and Sassy Peril and
because that's why we talk of the ancient future. Balancing the very best of the ancient dictates
with the
very best of the contemporary. And have something which is balanced and helpful. Alleviate some of the stress, but don't prostitute the thing.
Understood.
Give thanks.
There's something that keep popping in and out of my mind before I forget. Genius. Steve McGregor. You name him Genius.
How you know? Yes.
Cappuccino. You named him.
Well, him did
you tell me short
Cappuccino. I said, what you do? You afraid to people them drink here?
Chino.
So Chino. And then now, this youth the same name, Crazy.
Crazy Kid. Keep Rich.
Keep Crazy Kid. That time they were doing Lego the Boy or something.
Lego the Boy. Yeah.
I said, you do better than that, man. kind of crazy guitar talk about. He said, yes, that sounds good, they keep rich. Because first time we travel, I think we traveled together, and I think it was in Bermuda with the big ship crew. And so Chino is our youth. I mean, if you'll be surprised, and sometimes I surprise myself, even Wayne Marshall, Wayne Marshall by history, you know. War 21, King Jammy's worked on the album too, you know.
Pan Golden Spoon.
A left side and Escort produce Hygiene, you know.
Oh yeah?
You see the levels?
See, I work with the young youth, them just the same as the established. But yes, sir. Yes, sir. But we need the producer them.
I just say, I like your sister, what me there nothing for do, you know. So anyway, put it this way, I'm the ancient youth. So we not deny one, but we not deny
yes,
the other.
Yes.
So yeah, so we always, you forget my daughter, I work with my daughter from baby before she 8. And my daughter understand, you know. She left on the album. And my daughter, I'm advisor, I'm consultant, I'm confidant.
Plain and simple.
Yeah, and other works too. She was in the studio directing traffic in Golden Spoon Maroon last year.
Yeah.
Ask the harmonizers. People call me a workshop king, you know.
Yes.
We do workshops with children across the globe, from New Zealand to Australia to Japan, Scotland, England, Wales, Denmark, Gambia, Ghana, Caribbean, Jamaica. We started Jamaica and still in Jamaica. And so we have a little, I consider myself as a child at heart. Because even the Bible says you have to be like a child. With not true naivety or vulnerability, but a kind of inclusiveness, the humility there, the humanity there, the empathy. You know what I mean? We need the word empathy, you know, we need to practice it still, you know. Because if we care about each other, because life is about caring and sharing. Remember, so you're born naked and helpless, you know?
Yes, sir.
You used to defecate by yourself, urinate up yourself. Couldn't walk. All you see in boat, we are running up and down so fast now. You couldn't even walk. You must be a creep until
Stage
the first
phases.
time when you learn to stand up and you tumble back over and you never stay down there, you get up. So you see, we still want to make the thing know, and the empathy know if we know, say, when we promote equality, equity is a mechanism of equality.
Sure.
So empathy is needed to overstand the need. And even while we are integrating the word freedom, so you know, so them dumb the free in order to free the dumb, and free the dumb in order to dumb the free.
Free the dumb.
Yes. You understand me I say? But at the same time, you have to sacrifice. Make a personal sacrifice, to sacrifice your personal impulse for the interest of the group.
True.
Because we are social beings, you know. The basic unit of any human community is individual, and the basic social unit is the family. We are social beings, so we interdependent on each other. So we have to kind of accommodate other people's interests. We can't be this totally selfish. You have to accommodate other people's interests. So you have to imprison your own impulses in order to support the free realm that we want to exist within.
You are the founder of Edutainment Promotion
as well as
Seniacom
Edutainment. Yeah.
And you have been instrumental. You said that you have been doing workshops across the globe with children. I think you also do things in prisons, right?
Mental health institutions, universities, colleges, workplaces, all kind of place. Parliament too.
The global citizen one.
We do our one at Westminster. 49 countries we gone, you know.
49?
Yeah, so we out there are up and about.
Without fear, man.
Yeah, and no politician in a Jamaica go the amount of parliament I go. I try to preach truth and bury the lie.
You were instrumental in the creation of Jamaica Poetry Festival.
Well, I'm the instrument of the creation.
You are. I was thinking you were the instrument of Poetry in Motion.
Poetry in Motion, I'm tell you that. What we are doing is a social reengineering feat in the public spaces, like a public secret. And so what happened is that we do a Q&A all the while, getting ideas and directions.
Right.
So somebody will come and say, but I told you that last year. We said, that's why we asked. And so one year I put, Grace Kennedy had wanted us to fulfill the mandate of the proposal to do an island-wide tour. And so Grace Kennedy was interested. And me go to the people, them. They won't have it. So them said, no, make it on. No care go nowhere else. So that was what inspired. So because of what happened with me and Munta Baruka in
94?
23rd of February 1993.
93?
Yeah. So Pegasus Hotel.
Well,
so,
some people don't know still, you know, so.
Yeah. So yeah, they can look it up. So what happened is that he won the Jamie Award and handed it over to me, say I'm more deserving. So because of what happened Jackie in Current Wife, like when we worked together and so one day we were together in his house and she was saying, why you have to do more things together, man? Come like when we work together, man. And Muta agree, me agree.
Yeah.
So I was on
agree
tour.
too.
I was on tour in the UK. I agreed to. I was on tour in the other side. We carried him here in Mandeville on the 26th of February.
You need to talk to one of them time at the end, so we get road to
So
that.
yes, and so I was, on tour and get this idea, man. Jamaica Poetry Festival. But I hope you don't feel no way, but I like me, I tell you, I produce the email. So I said, Muta email the proposal.
Yeah.
Muta said, good idea. You know how him stay ready? 2 words. In the long proposal, he respond to. Good idea. So I said, Muta, I know it's a good idea. But I know if a good idea you need to be a part of. So you answer my question. Before I tell you a good idea, you should know what that means. Me just say, me kiss my teeth like my mother.
Yeah.
So me I say, Chuck, can't bother with Muta him, man. So I just do it by my own and invite him and him never fail. So, obviously we draw inspiration from everything around us and from Poetry in Motion. Jamaica Poetry Festival like the brainchild of Poetry in Motion. And Poetry in Motion is my brainchild as well. So we did that, and so we did the 12th annual staging at the AC Marriott Hotel and frightened people. The 14th of August this year. Monty Alexander, Skip Marley was our ambassador. Monty Alexander was the Award of Honor recipient. Marjorie Wiley, Lifetime Achievement Awardee. We had Professor Mervyn Morris. We have Dr. Michael Abrahams.
Yeah.
We had Kai Faulkner. We have Mark Stevenson. We had Samaya Banton. We have Simone Absalom Gale. We have Carville Mitchell. We have the Parliamentary and Poet Laureate of Canada, George Eliot Clark, as well as Ebony Payne. And we had Jazzy J, Yasmin Headley from Canada on the event as well. And we had a deaf poet, don't remember her name now, sorry. We had a deaf poet on the show, and we had deaf interpreters, which was again historic and groundbreaking. And we paid them to translate 2 of them and to show that respect and that support to the disabled community, more specifically to the deaf community. And we had a dinner of which all proceeds went towards the deaf community.
Nice, man. Very noble.
Thank you. And we had a creative arts workshop at 10, and we had a art display at 2 p.m. and we had a digital arts expose during dinner. We started at 4:30 and over 6:30, and then the event showcase started at 7. We were over by 9:30, 10. So we started on time, ended on time. It was very successful. Very successful, well received, and it created a strong impact that is resonating. People keep talking about it.
As I said, I saw the article that says YASUS AFARI stand the tallest at.
And I'm very happy that they said that. Not that's to the tallest, that's okay as well.
Yeah,
but
that is what them say.
yeah.
So,
and
there was no why they said that.
People said to me from, blah, blah, blah. Even some of my greatest critics.
I say, yeah?
With them afraid to go to church.
Yeah.
Because your mother is another one sharpshooter with her sword. Anytime she tells you say you're good, so you do you're good. So, so what happened is that when you promote a show, by the time you feel time
to perform.
Food tired you. Now give a few minutes. So this time I say, with all the hard work me do, and prepare a nice event and a nice event, I depend that with them. So I pace myself and found a strategy. And I have several ideas, especially me traveling, me work with different ideas. So I brought in 3 harmonizers, 3 dancers, and a drummer. And put a thing together where them kind of never quite expect and deliver. That set was exceptionally well received, and people tend to think that it was one of the standouts.
Whilst I mentioned Senior Common Edutainment, Art and Life magazine, so your brainchild as well.
Yes.
You're going to back of things one year, YASUS.
Art of Life, because we know the relationship between art and life, and that is why sometimes we chastise the irresponsible artists then, who tending towards being a con artist. Because if you're an artist and you're not leading the people with enlightenment and upliftment and empowerment, you're con them. So you condemn yourself and I condemn. So Art of Life is essentially to bring, and then sometimes we even the ministries and the government we have to remind. One time them I think say Claude McKay, until we show them say Francis Williams born in 1700, 200 years before Claude McKay.
And as I said, the government, were you a part of the whole Jamaica Day celebration, inception, creation?
All right. Sometimes people may be thinking I make trouble. So you can ask Bertrand Whiteman, who is happened to be a black man, who was the Minister of Education, Youth and Culture at the time. And he had a daughter named Nancy Service, Phyllis Service' sister. She was there. But many other people were there. Miss Zella, Jonah J. Hutchinson, even Tony Rebel was there at some point. I think Courtney Walsh and all kind of other people. So I wrote a proposal to Bertrand Blackman. White man who's
Black man,
so about Marcus Garvey teachings, Miss Lou, using the culture as a social intervention renewal mechanism. And he liked the idea and was impressed and invited me for a meeting, which led to the Culture Agency program in Jamaica, which is why I'm one of the first culture agent in Jamaica, among others, but I'm one of the very first. And so that was what inspired the book Overstanding Rastafari.
I forgot about that. School, not forget, but just never jot it.
The resource material were not written by Rastafari. Some people were hostile to Rastafari. The resource personnel, again, sometimes never consistent with decorum in some instances, and in some instances with the tenets and sensitivity of the faith and the movement and the liberty. And so we bridged that gap. And by then, the CXC had included Rastafari as an indigenous religion and culture, especially of the Caribbean. Notice me never say religion, religious expression. It has a religious attributes, but it's a liberty. It's a liberty of spirituality, and it's an experiential liberty of spirituality. And so we tabulated the questions that were asked and subjects from the curriculum. And that was what informed the 21 chapters of Overstanding Rastafari, Jamaica's Gift to the World. And so that led to the government's policy document, of which I am the most significant non-governmental contributor to the government of Jamaica policy document and culture and education, cultural entrepreneurship and cultural tourism. So the document is there if anybody care to check. And so what happened is that that was good, and that was what led to the Jamaica Day celebration. Nice one.
Nice one. I think I mentioned 94 because if memory serves me correctly, you were given Dub Poet of the Year in Chicago in 1994.
No, that too. By Iram Award. No, they not give me the award there.
Okay.
You up now? No disrespect, but them said that we were 20 Blackpool and we were in. I remember I was there we did about we were performing in Chicago and. Them send a very nice, attractive. They must know something like nice, attractive women. So them send a nice, attractive woman come and we take me for to go there. So I said, you come to book a flight to me if you catch up the tour. They said, no. I said, well, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, because you have to go back on the tour, man.
With all the nice pretty girl and not doing it. So, so we never go there. So Mr. Martin, no disrespect. I know what you're doing for 40 years and we support you. But maybe you still need to give me that award or make another one if you're going to lose it. So I didn't go and I didn't get it.
Yes. Parliament of the World Religion, Melbourne, Australia. I don't remember the year.
1993.
93. You're going to represent...
No, sorry. 2000... Hold on, no. Sorry, 2009. Sorry,
2009. You're going to represent...
Jamaica, Rastafari and the Caribbean. First and not since. To an institution that is about 130 years old.
Yes, us. But your greatness surrounding of none of ground level either, man.
One thing people couldn't, and Jerome Hamilton and myself were talking.
Jerome Hamilton headline?
Yeah, he's a part of the symposium. So, we say, he congratulate me and thing, and me I say,
you know, congratulate you, congratulate.
And me I say, thank you, my brother. And it's one thing still, nobody could fault me from trying. Even if I bought me too, still I try to polish off and fix up and move on. So yes, true. We have consistently been making efforts.
Your fingerprints and footprints are many places, many good places.
Yes. And so sometimes even me book up on it and
what?
Listen, one day I was at Kidwood Center and one man read an excerpt from my contribution to the policy document.
Yeah, so this one's so good.
Which professor like that? I want me. Like the the man read my mind, he said this was written by Professor YASUS AFARI. I said, oh, fire. Nah, go on bad.
Nah, go on bad, man.
So, I mean, cause you know how it go with creative work and sometimes you put out the thing there so you know so fully contribute.
Right.
When it regurgitate and play back, you say, wow, that's it. Yeah, so it keep you grounded and keep you humble,
yes.
but it keep you inspired as well.
We have a tendency as a people in this country to interchange being articulate with being intelligent. But you're not only articulate, you're a supremely intelligent gentleman, sir.
And you're supremely kind and generous. Give thanks.
Because, you know, I sit down here and I listen, you know, and I say, yo, you know, feel for nothing, everything that's a flow.
Can I
respect that.
Give thanks. Can I tell you like a secret? Public secret?
Yeah.
I don't mind the credit, you know. I think we deserve some of it.
You do. You deserve
it. But you know, say, even from the Bible, they have a thing in there when the master send out the warriors them on the battlefield. You must have even bother carrying up a logo, you know. And about a premeditate what I was saying, you know. About a premeditate what I was saying, you know. Because hear this now. We are tied into the omnipotence, the omniscience, and the omnipresence of the Almighty. You see, once we are fairly balanced, because we won't be totally balanced.
Right, fairly balanced.
So much shortcomings. But you see, for a fairly balanced and centered, my brother,
you can represent yourself anywhere, anytime.
and you have access to the cosmic vibration and intelligence. I think that is largely responsible for that attribute which you alluded to earlier. You know what I mean?
I'm going to look it up. I like it. I like it. Father, see clear.
No, none of them. You can just say YASUS.
YASUS.
Yeah.
You have been blazing trails, man, and cutting out paths for the transfer, transmission, and retention of some great things in the culture, man.
Give thanks. Both here and international.
I appreciate that, man.
I appreciate love it. So here what now? May I show you something? Not to boast still, you know, but to speak.
Boast, little man.
No, if you boast, you get started to
yeah.
Me do some significant work and do the research.
I am learning.
In the United Kingdom.
Separate and apart from the residency at University of Birmingham.
One piece out. The SACRE, Standing Advisory Council on Religious Education. We get them in 6 SACRE jurisdictions to include Rastafari as one of the 8 faiths, it was 7 before, that must be taught in schools by law.
Nice.
We did a similar thing in the penal justice system, whereby Rastafari now recognize both the literature and the days and in the penal justice system. And this came out of some work I did.
In the UK?
In the entire United Kingdom.
Okay.
And we do and that work led to Overstanding Rastafari being a reference text in Oxford University.
I need to acquire that, you know.
Yeah. I consulted them on a series of religious texts that they write for the Caribbean, including Jamaica. So our Caribbean government have enough confidence in we enough to make we should write them there, you know.
I say always go.
So we just keep working and keep it moving. And the other things still too. We do some stuff in Gambia and at the ACP Parliamentary Assembly, the British Parliament, in the New Zealand, Jamaican Parliament twice until them nearly pitched me out 2017.
How you go down there, go?
I refuse to stand up for the Iron God. You know, we got the Iron God. So, but good thing, what do you want to feel good? Let me tell you why I feel good.
Yeah.
I won't tell you my sources. But one of the politicians said they had that reasoning and they said, everyone, they said, me never mean no disrespect. I'm so happy because it was the furthest thing from my mind.
Figure as much.
And the facts of them say so. Them still know so it's not really a troublemaker. Still, you know. But me
I stand for the things we believe in, man.
Yeah. Because if maybe I them send somebody to interview me still. And I tell them, say, you know, if it happens next time around, maybe I'll excuse myself or I won't go until after that. Because I don't want to insult these people or the institutions. But how could I insult myself or insult the heroes whose record we're expunging? Some of them lose them life 200 years ago. And you want me if you spread red carpet for the people who murder them? when we come to celebrate them and expunge them, that would be sacrilege, if you ask me. Why you laugh? It is them.
I always respect and want to stand up for them believe, you know.
Yes, I do. I was sitting down.
And you don't have to be disrespectful.
So you know, stand up, if you stand up, you know.
Right.
You could sit down and
I
stand up. That's what I did.
So
and
true.
so I'm happy that they didn't feel insulted, and they know that I didn't want to insult the ancestors by honoring these people because look, his Mama Africa gave birth to all humanity, and Mama Africa was gang raped by Europe and America and them other cohorts around the world.
Daily, man, for years, man, hundreds of years, man.
Hundreds of years and maybe more. The Arabs them guilty too. So hear this now. Mother Africa gave birth to all humanity bar none. So this act is diabolic, incestuous and sacrilegious. So we not ramp with them people there. And we not go make them reduce with to less than what with character and with personality and with strength allow we. You know what I mean? You know what I say, my brother? So one thing about I and I still, we all go work for the army people, lodge, government, criminal, prison officers, we work amongst pedophile, rapists. Because if you just don't be it, maybe you don't need to be it till later or tomorrow. And if you're weak, you need strength. If you're strong, maybe you don't need strength to that right now. And if you're sinful and corrupt, you maybe need a little help to cleanse yourself. Because corruption is not good. And corruption is not good. So what happens is that when you ask and you seek, we will reach out to you if we can. And try to impart what we have. Even if we don't have silver and gold, I could give you what I have. If I have silver and gold, I could give you too. But if you don't have silver and gold,
Man, give them friend when they have YASA. So my granny used to tell me.
Give who?
Man, give them friend when they got.
Right.
So I don't think.
So we look at it, you know. And we now gonna make Babylon punk up and freak.
No, we don't play that. We don't play that. Don't time at all. And we're not troublemaker, you know, but we don't play that. Publishing and royalties, how are things YASUS AFARI as it relates to his intellectual properties?
Well, to be honest with you, without controversy, we
balance.
We're not the most commercially successful artists, to be honest. And we have been robbed and we have been denied. And we still don't make it be bitterness or resentment. We forgive and we overstand. We try to use it as a reference and teaching point to improve ourselves and to improve others. That's why I love my mother so much, because my mother has been instrumental, and the people them, if you don't hear about my mother, you could love her too if you don't love what me I do. Because she set a foundation, and she, as a wash belly youth, fear, that allow me the luxury of doing some of these sacrificial work that I've done. You know what I mean? And still keep my head above water.
That's important.
Yeah. Maybe I'm being modest in the sense of, because I'm not a very ambitious person. Because I say since I'm ambitious. So I have some aspirations that are noble and high.
Right.
But sometimes I have a problem with that word, because sometimes people want to use materialism as a virtue to sacrifice humanity with material trappings. So most of the people who profess to be ambitious, that's what they're into. And so we threw into neurolinguistic healing, because every day you play for God bless you. We need to find another word, because you ask God to be less you. And so, you know. So anyhow, so that, and because we tell you about the allegation with some of those wrong, then DJ Unity, the principal writer for that song.
Oh yes.
Number one on the British charts. And Missy Piece and Piece, I won't call no name right now, still, but I say pieces of my work, different place. But there's a flip side to that. At least it's my work, my contribution in that sense, even if I never get all the benefits at the time. And there are others, I won't get into some of them because some people redeem themselves. So, but that, so it, not, you know, and then poetry is an art form where it come like you sell ice to somebody where you freeze already. And then you're selling them ice, which is how some of them look at poetry. So that is why even my mother and the other people say poetry can't name. Well, I'm going to show me say poetry can't name because I'm going to use it to spell the word them. So, and then we've proven that with Poetry in Motion and with Jamaica Poetry Festival that we could give away to the less fortunate. We who are selling ice to people who are freeze. Can you imagine that? And so for the 26th of February in 2023, we're having the 20th staging of Poetry in Motion. Clean, intelligent fun for the entire family.
Location chosen already?
Yes. Manchester Golf Club, the oldest golf club in the Western Hemisphere, which was established in 1865.
1865, and 05 it then.
Yes. And so it is the longest running, most successful and consistent annual poetry event in Jamaica and English-speaking Caribbean.
This will be the 20th
staging. And so we're supporting, like we did the very first staging, because it was totally about them, the Manchester Infirmary. And we're supporting the Hanbury Home for the second or maybe third time, as well as Friend in Need, which we're doing for about the 8th time. And we'll have a dinner. We'll have all kind of stuff, community outreach and our sermon ecumenical service.
February. When again?
26th. Here's easy to remember. The last Sunday in February.
There's a Sunday.
Jamaica Poetry Festival is always the second Sunday in August. So next year we'll have in the 13th annual staging on the 13th of August. Interesting. And that is in Kingston. So Mandeville now will have the 26th of February will be the 20th staging of Poetry in Motion. Clean, intelligent fun for the entire family. It's not just about poetry. It's we know nurturing and celebrating the poetry of life. So
poetry, yes, I've seen that.
Dance and comedy, storytelling, fashion and poetry. So we are taking responsibility for the entire spectrum of the creative and performing and literary arts. So it's the poetry of life. So every song is a poem set to music. And so we include in all. And we reverse engineer any expression in the spectrum to produce any given or required expression in the spectrum. So we could start with a film, a letter, a composition, a dance, a mime, a poem, a song, an instrumental. And we can produce any expression in the spectrum, reverse engineering any of those individual expression.
Yes, sir.
Nature is a good youth, you know.
Very good youth, man. They're on a mission, you know?
We have some stuff to do for him with him too.
This has been most enlightening, captivating, provocative, and informative. We really and truly enjoy this. Yes, so I say, we'll enjoy editing this again.
I hope you full joy presenting it to the people.
We're going to do that. We're going to do that.
And I hope the people full joy.
They will, they will. A lot of things that has been said will probably, you know, slide over some people's head, but most of the people around our thing are intelligent human beings. You understand?
When you give people tools, you know, even if they not use it today,
one day,
tomorrow.
One day. Bigger boss. We appreciate the man contribution in that thing, man. Wholesome, fulsome, far-reaching and deep, man.
It's an honor.
And the man still in love with what I do.
Yes.
Like a little child, as you say, man.
You know so,
thing, man.
You get that right, man.
Man thing, man. We appreciate it, man. So go on to the thing. And I know you draw me up earlier. So one time we have things where we can come show some love and share with the viewers them.
Yes,
just let me know.
We
know you're not listen to that
still. We are co-worker, you know. We have to nurture people in mind. Yes. No. Man shall not live by bread alone, you know. Because matter exists in three fundamental forms, solid, liquid and gas. So if you look at the structure and you look at the breath, and you look like we neurons. So
all state of matter we exist in.
Yeah, three, solid, liquid and gas. So we can't make the people be mentally and spiritually malnourished when we have food and water.
Can't feed them.
So we have to feed them. We don't have to drench them, we don't have to put gun at them head, but we can then treat them and present it nice and presentable.
Agreed.
Taste and
Agreed.
when them taste them, they say, oh, this is good.
Everything put in, man.
That's why Peter said we can't blame the youth, everything we put in because the youth love what them learn, you know.
Which is true.
So in a sense, we must be, that's why I don't feel like I want to aloof myself or divorce myself because we are part of a community. And so if the youth then become reckless and rebel, to an extent the adults might have contributed to that. So we can rope them in and reason. That's why even your children, you develop a relationship with them, you can reason. If your daughter says, well, the boy at school like her and she like, you're supposed to can talk to you.
No, man.
Because she not talk to you, you know.
She will talk to
other people maybe not have the best interest at
true.
So it's good to foster and don't bully and brutalize the people and the children. And so if you use love and empathy, it will be a better thing. So give thanks to the work with the IADO and for the support as well.
It's a joy, man. It's a joy. And I appreciate the fact that the man understand the first mishap and you know what I mean, welcome we again. Chastise we, but welcome.
Yes,
we appreciate
naturally. You know, it's a wait on this man again.
But we tell you a little thing down a toolkit, man, and we are circle the place to know if you come in there.
Nobody
right there, so we could have walk up across.
The end justify the means, you know, so we're good. So,
Golden Spoon my road.
Straight. I tell you, we're confused.
Give it thing, man.
Yeah,
go on to the thing.
Yeah, my brother.
You understand?
Teach them.
The man
them.
is a great hygiene, man.
Give thanks.
Greatness, man.
Give thanks,
and when I say that, just because we can't say that. We say that because we see the thing and we know you have been doing it a long time and you continue to try as best as possible to reach who we can reach.
Yes, give
and
thanks.
we try that in our own way too, so we know the importance of that. You know, I think
that's why we identify with where they are and their work resonate as well.
Teach them! Hey, yo, hello! Send the message and make it reach them. It's teach them. Right here, Warlord representing.
Thank you for watching. Like the video before you go. Please subscribe if you haven't done so. And remember to share the video with your friends and family. And browse the channel for more quality content. Until next time, walk good, my friends.
Teach them!